Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new era of Dungeons and Dragons. I literally just said to these guys, we're gonna hang out. You know, we're gonna play some
Just
Dungeons and
hang out.
Dragons.
Yeah.
We're gonna calmly introduce the new campaign. We're gonna have some fun.
Era.
With the words like era, making it sound nice and extreme. Sleepiest has her own studio.
Yeah, I've got a studio now. We're real professional. This is a professional D&D stream. No, it's Todd's.
I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you guys have enjoyed the one-shots that we've had playing in the interim between our last campaign and our new campaign. Yes, if you're here now... Oh, look, no healers. If you're here now, then you are at the very, very start of a new campaign. Hopefully, we'll be having these uploaded to YouTube. All right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So hello if
maybe
you're there.
maybe you're not here now. Maybe you're here in the future.
I hope you're pretty terrible right now.
Yeah. Let's not.
Let's not go too far into that.
Yeah, Jesus. Okay, so as a beginning, especially if we're gonna have this on the YouTubes and whatnot. Hello, everybody. My name is Tom. My social medias are at @0_ for Twitter, which is ZeroLogic. Those are spelled weirdly, aren't they? It's not just the number or the word. It's E-A-R-O.
I'll tell you what, I'll put it in the description of the video.
Wow!
Hey.
There you go.
Easy.
And I ran the last D&D campaign, which unfortunately, I guess we didn't really have the foresight to put on anything long-lasting because we didn't think it was going to be worth watching. And then it became something kind of worth watching. I am super duper excited to start this new campaign. And we're going to start off with, we're going to hopefully make sure that you guys in chat can get involved.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue with the chat inspiration thing that we had last season campaign.
Yeah, campaign.
Where if you're active in the chat and you make a funny joke or something, or you say you have a good idea or whatever, I as a DM may reward you with an inspiration point. We will try and keep track of those, and you can use those inspiration points to award one of the players with an advantage roll. Additionally, you should be able to purchase a D6 that you can add to any roll, including the Dungeon Masters, by using the derpiest points. Is that what they're still called? They're still called derpiest points?
I think they're just called points on Stream Elements at the moment.
Okay, just points. That's sad.
We could change it.
All it is.
We could change it.
So you can spend points to buy D6s. However, they will be limited to, at the moment, we're saying it's about, was it 150 or something like that points? But it's limited to 2 a stream.
Mm-hmm.
But it's likely to change because it's very early days. Just because as much as I want the chat to be able to get involved, and I might still ask you guys to roll D20s and stuff for me occasionally, I would really like for this to not just be a game for Twitch, but also for me and my pals. So I'd like to make sure that you guys can interact without having too much of a deciding factor on how the games go. Okay.
Wow, Docs, thanks for following. Jesus. The fuck?
Oh, it totally doesn't work. Oh, it's too clever.
You know, it took 97.
Oh, you're trying to get extra points. You guys can't give yourself points.
I was trying to diddle the points. You get 30 points.
Trying to
for
diddle the
the
points. You
Or-
cannot give yourself. You cannot buy the D6s. It's down to these boys and girls alone. What lovely
Oh.
people
I
indeed.
just want points.
Will's
Right. Okay,
redeemed a
I haven't got
D6.
this-
Wait, how did you redeem a D6 so fast?
What,
Did
already?
you decide that it was going to be 2 per session and it was just
So
like
it's supposed to be two. It's supposed to be two per session that you have to redeem it immediately. Additionally, we thought that Jenny had reset the points.
did
so that
reset the
everyone starts
points.
at 0.
I've got 0 points.
Yeah, see, I reset the
Oh.
points.
But if
Who
you've got
redeemed
it,
it?
Oh, is it because Will's resubscribed that he was given
Oh, he
extra
resubscribed and he was
points?
given points. I'm sure he's been given like 200, right?
You have
I have
5,000.
5,370.
I reset. I reset all of the points like 2 hours ago. How?
I call hacks.
There's 2 different points because we have stream labs
You're
and
joking.
stream elements. Okay, don't play it.
Right. Okay.
Okay. At least
As
no
you
one
should
else
expect, I've been saving them for years. We're not. I mean, the story itself is going to be, serious to a certain extent, but I don't expect anyone in chat or in stream to be serious at all. It's going to be the same kind of wonderful, like family-based D&D shit all over again.
Hell yeah.
So who's next to introduce themselves just very briefly before we get going?
Thanks, Wills, for giving me the D6. But
so fly like a D6. Hi, I'm Katie Quixotic. You can find me everywhere as Katie Quixotic, and I'll be playing Neurally. And I'm a sorcerer.
hell yeah.
Doxy?
I'm Dox, not Doxy.
Sorry.
Only very close people get to call me Doxy.
The shade.
I'm on some things that I think are linked in the thing down there. I am playing Randall, who is a monk.
Who doesn't sound like that apparently,
Nice.
but you
Well,
keep
you might.
whenever you say Randall,
I can't say it anymore without saying Randall.
Randall.
every time you
I'm
say Randall, you're like Randall.
My name's Randall.
Randall has a
Okay.
brother named Alfred somewhere.
Right, and Jenny.
Hi, it me. At sleepiest in places, and I'm playing Oro, which is a dwarf ranger. No, not dwarf. Gobbo ranger.
Gobbo
Obviously.
Ranger.
Phil, thank you so much for the bits. Holy poop.
Holy moly.
Holy
Holy
poop.
moly. Holy moly.
Oh, that's a
Awesome.
lot of points.
That's a lot of points. Thank you very much. You saved such a generous point. Okay, so hopefully we'll never have to introduce ourselves like that again. It's awful. I hate doing it.
I'm a
But-
gobbo.
We gotta. Are you a goblin or a dwarf? She's a goblin.
A goblin. I panicked. I don't like
You'll meet
instructions.
all of the characters shortly, okay? But for now, let's begin our new campaign named Housebound Adventuring. Okay. So we start our brand new adventure in Cormier.
Oh my god, it does say dwarf. Oh my god, I labeled myself a dwarf. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I knew there was something I was getting wrong. When we came in the stream, I was like, I've done something wrong. I don't know what it is, but I've done something wrong. And this is what I did wrong.
I thought it was gonna be like a big surprise unveiling or something, and then when Tom said it, I was like, oh no, he
No,
must have
I'm just an
given it away.
idiot. I'm just an idiot. I'll change it now. 2 seconds. Carry on, everyone. It's fine.
This is us all over, really, isn't it?
Feels.
This is all of our streams.
This feels so comfortable now. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
we're home. This is
Oh,
it.
the mess up has happened. We can carry on as normal. Everything's fine.
This is fine. We're all fine here. Yes, Adam.
We're not saying what it says beneath Tom's camera. I haven't got the cameras up. I've only got the chat. Is it something embarrassing? No. Okay. Let's,
Phil, thank you for gifting another sub to time.
such
Oh my
a-
god, there's an abundance of points already.
So many points.
Oh yeah, shit. Oh my god, Fuel's gonna he's
already
got a
got
monopoly on points.
We've got 1,100 points.
The power.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, okay.
What's wrong with me? How
We
did
good
I
to-
fuck
we
that
good to
up?
continue?
Yeah, I'm just saving it now. Oh my god. Oh my god. Will, thank you for the 100 points. Jesus.
Right, okay. So, as you can hopefully see on the map that we have in front of us, this is the majority of the continent of Faerun. Okay, along the seafront here we have the Sword Coast. However, we are not on the familiar Sword Coast that is home to Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, Neverwinter, big cities that you might have heard of in our previous campaigns. We are instead if I move you a little bit closer, to the east, we are in Cormier. Okay, and this is where we will be doing our having this new campaign. Cormier is a land of strength and honor, a long-standing kingdom ruled by the Obarskir family for hundreds of years. Its history is filled with turmoil, a history that each of you know varying amounts about. So please, we will start this game with the first roll being a history check. What I would like for you to do is either take 10 and add your history bonus, or you can roll with advantage, because this is going to be your knowledge of the entire region that you've been in for quite some time. It makes more sense for us to have an elongated kind of check rather than something that's just on the spot.
Okay, first, Fuel redeemed the other D6 bonus and gave it to Katie. It's okay if you could note that down somewhere or something.
2d6s there.
Future. Oh, we could use it now.
Do I have to decide? I can wait to decide until after I roll, right? We're using it like a normal, like
Yes.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be that it runs out after the session though, so you need to use it this session.
Ooh,
What if we haven't used it by the end? Can we make up a roll that happens? Just, how well do I sleep that night? Quick.
We don't want to bank these.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So what was the history check? We can either do something and
So
something.
you can
or...
either take 10 and add your history bonus, or you can roll with advantage. Ooh.
I should have taken 10. I have
Right,
1d6, right?
This makes sense for your for your character, Katie.
It really does, actually. I'm losing it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Oro, and do you want to change your characters' names in chat just so that
Oh, yeah.
just for ease?
I did that already. It's the one thing I remembered to do. Back to everything else.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I have a table here that is basically filled with information about Cormier, and each of you know varying amounts depending on what you rolled. So we're going to start off with Nurali, who knows quite a limited amount of information about Cormier. Okay, so you know 2 facts. This is for your character, and obviously this is for chat and everybody as well. But for your character, anything other than these 2 facts, please remain, keep it out of character. You know that Cormier is run by the House of Oberskir. Okay, so that house has run this this kingdom for a long time. You also know that the current ruler is King Foril. However, he is very elderly.
Can you spell those for me?
Yes, so Obarskir is Obarskyr. And the current king is King Foril, Foril.
Okay. Those are the 2 things I know.
Those are the 2 things you know. Cormier exists. Also, you are in Cormier. Okay, so we've got a 20 and a 21 from Oro and Randall. 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 You guys know quite a lot, so this list is going to go on for a little while. Okay, whether or not you want to take notes on these is down to you. So, Cormier. I mean, you might not find these things to be especially interesting. So if you don't think it's interesting, don't need to take a note on it. So Cormier is well known for its stability in rulership. It is the capital of Cormier is Suzail. Suzail. It has been run by the Oberskir family since its inception. So no one's ever successfully overthrown them. No one's ever come in and done a coup or whatever. It's always been them. Cormier is super ancient and has had a lot of different wars going on with the country of Sembia to the east, which we can't quite see on this map. But it's just to the east of Mulhessen there. He's got more important shit to worry about.
I definitely do.
What was the name of the family?
Oh, Oberskir. Obarskyr. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So Sembia, the country that Cormier has been at war with on and off for centuries, has been allied to Netheril, which is a kingdom to the north of Cormier. Was previously a vast empire, although recently has definitely shrunk in power. You also know that Cormier is famed for its purple dragons and its war wizards. Purple dragons being kind of hedge knights and their military force, and war wizards being their kind of magical might. Cormier is where the Goblin War happened. The Goblin War was a, I mean, it's a bit of a weirdly named one because it didn't just involve goblins, but it was a massive conflict that was kind of led by a massive red dragon, whose name you definitely do not need to know, but I'm going to try and pronounce for hilarity's sake. Nalvarothril, I believe, is their name. Not that you need to know that.
Okay, we're trying.
But basically, we've also got the last king, who was Azun the Fifth. Although you also know that Azun the Fourth was most famed of all of the leaders of this kingdom, because they brought peace to the land by defeating Navarothoril and ending the Goblin War. This area is also extremely well known for its predilection of dragons. The King's Forest, which is just underneath the Stormhorns here, I'm pinging on the mappo, there, is well known to be the home of many, many dragons, and historically, back before Cormier was even founded, was big old Dragoland.
Okay.
And most famous of these dragons is the purple dragon, Thorglor, who once decimated most of the capital. He actually wasn't a purple dragon, he was a black dragon whose scales kind of went purple with age.
Oh, I wanted it to be like.
Okay, so you guys rolled high. I wasn't expecting to have to. Tom has done the deep dive into lore, yes. But I wasn't having to. I wasn't expect. I was like, they're level 1 characters. They're not gonna roll that high. Fucking 2021. Literally, this list only goes up to 17 because I was like, there's no way they're gonna roll that high. I'm gonna have to deal with all this. Okay, anyway. So if there's any point in this specifically for Randall and Oro, if there's any point in this session at least where something relevant to this Cormier history check comes up, you can get that for free because you rolled so high. Okay.
It's like loyalty points.
So
yeah, one.
Yeah, right. So we are beginning our adventure in the town of Nesmith. Nesmith is renowned for 2 things: its luminescent eel water and its notoriety as a place for adventurers beginning their career. Adventuring in Cormier requires membership to a chartered adventuring company, an annual charge that usually makes it difficult for budding adventurers. However, questing around Nesmith is the one exception that the Crown turns a blind eye to, simply because of its history of generating some of the kingdom's greatest heroes. Its location is patrolled less by the Purple Dragons, the widely active army and policing force, mostly because of its predilection for adventurers, which means it tends to defend itself. We begin our game by introducing the first of our characters, Randall. Randall, you've been on the road for some time now. Your destination is the village of Nesmith. Not long past, you received a letter, or rather, a letter appeared in your pack. A letter with a wax seal bearing the sigil of a house that you do not recognize. The letter read, "To whomever is the recipient of this letter. This letter has found itself in your possession through magics that I have prepared for the event of my death. untimely or otherwise. The magics have selected you from my bloodline. Though I'm informed that the criteria are vague, I have been assured that you have only received this letter if you are the most appropriate of my remaining family to be in the receipt of my will and testament. My estate falls to you, along with the responsibilities that bears. Should you accept, make your way to the town of Nesmith, Cormier. The people there are my people, and I have made it my life's work to defend them. I trust that you will keep my legacy unsullied. Caspian Kinshire. CASPIENKINSHIRE.
Does he type it out at the end of the letter?
Okay, so Randall, how are you traveling to Nesmith, and how long have you been on the road?
Randall started at a little place. It's above Arabelle. So yeah, on this map, it's a bit easier to see. So between where Arabelle is, and then you have the Stormhorn Mountains, like about half a day's walk from Arabelle, there is a small monastery, and this is where Randall starts his journey. Okay,
shall I put that on the map?
If you want to.
And then just a little bit north of Arabelle by about a day.
So like at the feet of the mountains, probably.
Okay.
Bit cut off. And then so from here he then travels down to Arabelle, which is like half a day's walk or so, and he stays the night in Arabelle. And then he walks on from there the next day. And this is a bit of a longer bit. This is the longer stretch, so it takes like 2 full days to walk here. And as he's coming past the this bit where the water meets the path in the evening, he runs across a group of bandits. But luckily, he is quite speedy, and as he looks like a monk, so he's got just like the one piece of cloth that kind of like wraps around him. They didn't chase it very far because he's quite fast. They didn't chase it very far anyway because it like doesn't really look like he's worth actually mugging.
He's not carrying a lot of.
No, he's got this big stick.
Okay, and he's walking this. He's not taking a convoy. He's not taking a caravan or anything. Okay.
Nope. Yeah, and then he camps and tries to sleep after this kind of after he nearly gets attacked, and then he travels the rest of the way down to Nesmere, and then goes basically straight to an inn. And it's
okay.
Fuck this.
Okay, so
I nearly died today.
so this is the day that he nearly died. So he arrived.
Yeah. Well, so then he has a terrible night's sleep because he can't sleep.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of still and then very recent for him.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you arrive, it is a warm, bright summer's day. The sun is almost reaching its peak at noon. The trees are bustling with life, and the excitement of life is on the air. The village before you is busy enough. As you step down the path between the buildings, you see individuals of many races. Elves, dwarves, and gnomes. You even notice a kobold prancing around unaccosted, holding a small bundle of parchments and dancing underfoot of other townsfolk going about their day. As you come into the village, you can hear a river, and following it with your eyes shows you a small watermill to the south, some miles down the valley. You can see signs for stores and organizations with vivid imagery and goods on display in their windows. Some of these signs read, Wizard Extraordinaire, Caravansary and Courtship, Adventuring Prep Store of Nesmith, and the Curled Talon Inn. The center of the village is a large temple coated with symbols of the goddess Timora. Cheerful flowers line the streets, and the farmed fields board the outside, filled with pumpkins and corn and cabbages growing to harvest. On the wind, you can hear a playful tune floating from the tavern, accompanied by the smell of freshly baked bread. Ooh, let's see if my soundboard works. I feel like we're playing Legend of Zelda and we just like walked into a town or something.
You.
Thank you to Tom.
Tom,
Your phone is
phone's
ringing. Thank you for Tortu for inspiring me to look into this. It's good fun. That's cheerful flowers. That's holes on the sparkles. It's super awesome. Okay, so this is a nice kind of like charming little village that you found yourself in. It does not take you very far into the village for you to find yourself at the tavern. Okay, gonna move you over here. Can everyone see?
Mm-hmm.
We did take a 5-minute break while Tom admires himself. Right. It occurs to me that if it goes to YouTube, they're not going to see Twitch chat, and they're just going to be very confused when we talk to the Twitch. But anyway, so what we have in front of us here is the town of Nesmith. Okay, you have entered via one of the roads to the east. You have come down past the bushes that are filled with herbs and flowers, past the farmland, and walked down through the main road. At the end of this road, you see this house here. Has a huge sign on the front that says the Curled Talon Inn. It has what looks like a massive kind of talon claw on the front, with the image of a massive kind of goblet that's overflowing with beer, you assume. The door is open. You can smell food cooking from inside. You can hear bustling of people in there enjoying some lunch.
Well, gonna go in because I
Okie
gonna
dokie.
give myself a room because
Okie doke.
I've had a bit of a tough time so far.
You have had a bit of a tough time. Well, in front of you, you can see that there is like I said, more than a handful of people, between about 10 and 15 different people dotted around different tables. Each of them seem to have their own meals. They're going about their day. Some of them appear to have been arrived just with a delivery of fruit and vegetables for the Talon staff. Others are leaving as you enter. But behind the bar is a large orc, who you can see his face has several bits of metal kind of studded into it, like it's kind of holding parts of his face together. This in particular is holding his jaw in line, as if it would probably fall off if it didn't have that in place. And he sees you come in, and he squints at you. Oi! Who are you?
Oh, Randall.
Oh, Randall, what?
Randall Dundragon. I'm looking for a room. I can't do that accent. A room.
Oh, Randall, come on over here, bud. Randall, come and sit down here. Come on. It kind of points to one of the empty stalls in front of him.
Just like make my way over.
What's your deal then? You here for one of them adventuring sorts?
Well, I
That's usually what happens, is people don't come here unless they're adventuring sorts.
well see. I'm here looking for someone, aren't I?
Are you?
Yeah, you know, Kingshire.
Kingshire?
Yeah.
No, what? That's that house up the road, that is.
I didn't know houses could write letters.
Well, it has. Letters?
Yeah, well, look on letters.
What? It's an house. What?
Have you got a room? Just
Yeah, we got room.
can I?
Lodge it.
Well, yeah, it would be good. This is an
Right.
image.
Yeah. So he leans down, and he's rummaging for a key. It looks like he might be looking for something below the desk. As he does so, you hear a clank, and you see that his jaw unhinges for a second. He goes, "Oh fuck!"
Oh,
You can hear the hinge of metal as it pops back into place. He slams down a key on the table and he says, "Got a couple copper? Come on!"
I give him some money. I give him a couple of copper.
Okay, come. And he looks at how much he put on the test. He says, "All right," and he takes the key back and he brings you a different key instead, and he puts it down. And this one looks a lot more worse for wear. It, like the previous one was kind of had like a nice little key ring on it that had the picture of the Talon on the front, and it said the Kill Talon's in on the front. And this one it's just a key.
Okay, I just take that key. I mean,
Out the back, mate. Out the back.
I mean, you said couple copper.
So you take a seat. You have a bit of a browse. Do you want to go and explore your room, or do you want to?
No,
continue
I'm going to
having a
stay at
conversation with
the.
this gentleman?
I'm going to stay there for a bit, and then on sort of like a waist belt thing, I've got a it's like a little box with a slot on it, and then you kind of like put your finger in it and slide it up, and it comes out, and it's a little notepad, and it's got like a little like graphite pen or a little pencil. He's just going to sit at the bar for a little bit and make a few little notes while he's sat there. But,
Okay.
I ain't seen something like that before.
What kind of notes is he writing?
So he's like writing about the particularly the bartender, because he's never heard of someone with like pieces of metal like in their body.
Okay. Sure. All right. Well, I mean, time kind of ticks by. You know that you've got somewhere to stay for the night. Is there anything else that you want to achieve whilst you're here for the day? I mean, you've come here for a specific reason.
Well, I should probably go up and have a look at this house that sent me a letter.
Yeah. Well, if you want to roll an investigation check for me. Do pancakes exist in this world? Goal of this campaign is to get Randall to say the greater good.
I can't find what I'm looking for.
Investigation. Yikes. Okay. Unfortunately, due to your nature as a brand new member of Nesmith, you struggled to get the attention of people around the bar and around the village. Basically, what you're trying to do is find the information to say, where the fuck is this house? Like, give me some directions, please. But because it's a relatively busy day at about lunchtime, everyone's kind of dotting around. They've got their own business to attend to, and because of that, it makes it difficult for you to kind of flag somebody down. By the time that you do finally get someone, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've got to go," and they dart off. You find yourself kind of stood in the middle of this village, like, "Will nobody fucking talk to me?" But as you do so, you look upon a hill, and you can see that there is quite an old-looking manor, and you imagine that might be your destination.
I think it probably also doesn't help that, because it sounds like there's a diverse set of like humanoid creature-y things around that are going to be extremely distracted by like observing them and writing notes about them and being like, I saw that.
So in your character's background, have you in the monastery you were in?
Mm-hmm.
Have you spent a lot of time around people of different races?
Not particularly. So there was some like elves there, but mostly just like humans.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what your monastery was dedicated to?
Yeah, so it is. Oh, I had it written down. I've lost it. No, this is the worst day ever. Yes, the monastery is of the Libermans. Libermans.
Okay.
And they are a set of monks who take about collecting and keeping and recording and preserving stories. So they go out and they find like fairy tales or people of like note, so like kings and adventurers, but also like folklore and they'll go and they'll take like folklore from a whole bunch of different places, and then look at and try and find like the common truths, because those are normally the bits that are actually like the nuggets of truth in the story. And
Okay, so they're like the more accurate bards.
so
they don't that's not my words. No, like you don't add you don't make things exciting. You say it how it is.
yeah, they're trying to
historians more. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And so
so
how long were you at that monastery?
So he's been a scribe there for like probably about 15 years or something.
How old is your character?
31.
Okay.
Just, not a young sapling anymore. But he's been like, most of his duties so far have been about preserving what's already there. So taking the books that are starting to fall apart and rewriting them, rescribing them into a new book so that they can keep them preserved. And then part of that is like also just reading lots of these different stories and stuff.
So as you move through the ranks in this order, in this monastery, am I right in saying that you get to a rank where you're allowed to go out and find these stories?
Yeah, so you have to start off, you have to understand, they teach you how to actually write for a first thing, because a lot of people don't know how to write. Yep. And then it's about understanding how these books are written, and avoiding writing things that aren't accurate and factual. And then eventually they trust you to start going out and collecting stories and stuff. Okay,
cool. So after getting to that point of your career, getting to the point where you're certified and you're allowed to go out and start collecting, how long after that did you receive this letter?
So this is actually the thing that he's been let out to do as his first assignment.
Right. Okay. So to find out a little bit about
his master has been trying to get him out for quite a while.
I see.
Because he's just really into reading the books and like doing the scribing and just staying within the monastery. Right. And he hasn't left for quite a long time.
Right. Okay. So we're saying that he's lagged behind a little bit. Like he could have left 10 years ago, but he decided not to.
Yeah. And now he's been tasked to go and find the story that sits behind this, like find out about more of his family and more. Okay. This particular story.
Fantastic. So as Randall, you were meant to leave 10 years ago. Please leave. So as you leave the Curl Talent Inn and you see this house up on the hill, you think, okay, maybe if I walk towards here, I might find something. You find a sign. It's pointing in lots of different directions. One of them is pointing to the south, and it says to Miller's Bluff, which makes sense because you've just seen the water mills down the valley. You've got other ones, one that points to the Curl Talon, one to the marketplace, one to the blacksmith. And there's one that points up towards the hill. And it's got two words. Second word is manna. The first word, however, seems to have just degraded with time and it's no longer there. It's kind of just like it's kind of rusted away or.
Okay, I'll walk like right up to it and see if you can make out any, or is it just like completely gone?
Well, you can give me either perception or investigation as you try and decipher what it might have been. Oh, okay. Well, with the first crit, I mean, technically, Jenny got a history.
Got the first crit.
No, I
apologize. I don't want to take that away from you. I won't take. Oh, you got the first crit. Yeah, but that was an advantage crit. Like, come on. Do we start the crit counter? What we have is what you've very deftly. I mean, considering that you've got a letter that blatantly says Caspian Kinshire, you can kind of you put the two together, and when you're looking at this kind of degraded lettering, if you're looking for something specific, it's easy for your mind to just say, okay, well, I can see the things that fit here. If you hadn't had that in your mind already, the word Kinshire, you definitely wouldn't have found it.
Yeah.
But having put two and two together, you successfully managed to decipher that it said at some point Kinshire Manor. The wording doesn't look like it has disintegrated due to any kind of vandalism or anything. It just looks like for some reason this part of the sign is a lot more kind of vulnerable to time, as it were. It's just kind of degraded away. It's hard to put a point on how it's happened, and that's with your nat 20. Okay. You put 2 and 2 together, successfully making 4. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Right. Okay. So here we go, up the hill, up towards Kinshire Manor. Okay, so what we're looking at here is this scene.
Oh shit.
The approach to the manor is a different sight from the rest of the village. The house has clearly been left in disrepair. Clear signs of violence punctuate the walls lining the pathway. And from far away, you can see that there is a turreted tower that has collapsed and fallen. From the outside, it appears that several of the walls have collapsed in, and there is sign of damage to the interior also. Giant boulders indent the grounds, several of them wedged into the stonework of the manor house. You notice, however, that the plant life and the small gardens along the path in the vicinity of the manor are very well kept. There's a topiary of a dragon, as well as another, in the shape of a symbol of Timora. The pathway that you are on leads directly to the front door of the house.
I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna sort of cautiously walk up, especially considering my recent run-in with a set of bandits. I'm gonna be like pretty cautious, looking around, seeing if there's anyone still around. And then just
according to the will and testament that you received, this now belongs to you, if this is the right place.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that I inhabit it or anything friendly to me inhabits it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, clearly some shit's gone down. Okay, so you approach the house. As you get closer, you can see that the damage is definitely not just cosmetic. Several of the walls have collapsed in. Huge boulders have been wedged into it. And it looks not like, not just part of the wall has fallen in on itself. It looks like a massive boulder has been launched at or thrown at or something and has landed within this building, crushing the contents of it. Several parts of the building still look intact, mostly the front of the house. The roof appears that it might have some holes in it as well. For the most part, the front door is unaccosted, and you think that you could probably just walk up. There's a big knocker on the front of it that has the same sigil that you saw on the letter, which I will grab for you quickly.
Because I'll never ever remember what that says. Or is it just a sigil?
It's a sigil. Okay. So it looks like this. Okay. So it's a dragon on a field of red with a blue stripe or a blue point. I don't know what the fuck the technical terminology for that is. But that is the crest of the house. It's on the letter that you received, and it's on the front of the knocker. Okay. My random ancestor died, and all I got was this siege-damaged house. It's a chevron. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would call that a chevron.
Oh, it's on the knocker.
Well, if this letter claims that this is now, I've now inherited this, then I'm just going to open the door.
Okay. Well, you push on the door and you find that it is unlocked. The giant wooden kind of door itself just squeaks open. You can see that the rusted hinges have clearly not been super well looked after. However, the door handle itself is clearly well polished. It swings open, and directly in front of you is an elderly old man. Elderly old man? That's kind of a bit of a tautology there, isn't it? Elderly man who is in a kind of butler's attire. Butler's attire.
Are they also a bard?
His coat is kind of hanging behind him. And alongside him is a giant Great Dane, a dog, a huge dog.
Hello.
Hello. Who are you?
I'm Randall.
The dog immediately gets up in your face and starts sniffing at you. How tall are you?
Not particularly tall. I'm probably same height as a large dog. It's a Great Dane. I'm like 5'2" or something.
Okay, so you're quite. I don't want to say short, but yeah. Jenny says.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I'm basically tiny.
Okay, a very tall dwarf. Okay, this Great Dane is not quite at your head level then, but it's at chin level, and it's right up in your face, and it's sniffing around you, and you can see that like it's kind of got drool hanging from its jowls, and it kind of rubs up against you as it's sniffing around, and you kind of like you're soaked down the chest now, and it starts sniffing around your feet, and it kind of paces around you. So, Randall here.
Randall.
You burst into my household.
I'm Randall Dundragon. I got this here letter.
What?
I got a letter.
The dog now is gone much less aggressive in its sniffing and licking of you. Well, not that it was licking; it was more drooling on you, but it was rubbing itself against you in a way that has covered you now in drool. It is now returned to the side of the elderly gentleman, and is now sat down between the both of you, rather than next to this gentleman.
Yes, see, I got
A letter.
See,
Can I see it?
Yes.
Are you holding it out instead of giving it to him?
Yeah, I was holding it up. But like,
okay. You can see that he's got glasses on his face, and he leans in really close. What? I'm sorry, I can't read this. Can I just? He starts to try and take it from you. Are you gonna resist at all? Or are you just kind of like, okay. He brings it really, really close to his face, and he's just like this.
It says it's sort of. This is sort of vibe.
Oh my! Oh, you
Randall, yes.
You my goodness! I wondered if this day would come. You are a sign of great hope, but of also horrible loss. Please tell me, when did you receive this letter?
A couple of days ago.
Oh.
I travelled straight here.
Then Caspian is dead.
It would look that way.
Caspian has been missing for 50 years.
Oh, well, it's not that surprising then, is it? I mean...
Oh, I suppose you're right, but I knew that this letter would come upon his death to somebody. If you received it only days ago, then he only perished days ago, despite having been gone for 50 years.
I mean, things get lost in the post all the time, don't they? So...
In the magical post?
Well, I don't know much about that. But...
Probably not. Well, I hope that you are keen of heart, even if you're not keen of wit. As it appears that this has become yours now. As you see, it is quite in disrepair. I have done my best over the years. However, many tragedies have befallen this place, and there is only so much an old man like me can do, especially with the funds that I was left. You see, when Caspian went adventuring, he left some money behind to ensure that the butlers were well kept after, that we could live our lives. But we were not given the funds to repair the house, only to do our own work. You see now, as you are in the entryway of this house, there are two great staircases directly behind him. The house leads on, as far as you're aware from being on the outside, for quite a long way. However, you can see there's a giant boulder resting in the doorway just to the left of you. However, all of the floor around you, all the walls, all the paintings that you can see that line it, some of them are lovely landscapes of places with Cormier. In fact, one of them is of the lake that you walked past as you were mugged. It's all pristine, absolutely pristine. It's clear that in the areas that he has still got access to, this gentleman has been very well looking after the abode.
I see you kept it clean and not...
Yeah. I've done my best as I can. I'm afraid that
myself and my good loyal hound have been struggling to do more than that we have. This is Parsnip.
And he points to the Great
Pars-
Dane, who looks up at him and starts.
And I am Atticus.
And he lends his hand out to shake yours.
I shake his hand. I assume my hand is actually also like sopping wet with
Yes.
parsnip drool.
Yes,
Mhm.
parsnip drool. Parsnip juice is all over you.
Yes, well, I suppose both Atticus and I are your servants now. You have inherited this property. It is currently not much, and I'm afraid though I know that this house is full of many secrets, I have lost many of its memories. I'm getting old, you see, and I just don't work the way I used to. My brain and... Sorry, what was your name again?
Randall.
Randall, yes, Randall. Yes, hello, my name is Atticus, and this is Parsnip.
Yes, we've already been acquainted.
I apologize. As I said, my memory is not quite what it was. There are some rooms for you that you may take up residence in, but there is not much space. Most of the house is currently inaccessible due to various, boulders for the most part. Well, there's a lot of boulders. But I'm an old man. I can't lift the heavy wooden beams and the debris. There is a small outhouse that I have been living in.
How did the boulders get in?
Not a toilet, just a little small house.
It's okay to go.
How did the boulders get in? Well, I remember some of them I don't remember. At one point, Nesmith was under siege by hill giants, and I know that they attacked the manor. Most of the village has recovered, but I have no funds, and Caspian never returned, so...
Well,
You see, Caspian, although I do not know how he is related to you, was a great adventurer, I think. He would always come back with the treasures that he had found and piles of gold. He spent a lot of time and effort defending the place of Nesmith and building this house. Though now he is gone and... Sorry, my name is Atticus.
yes. Yeah, it's excellent. Do you
Yes.
have any stories?
Oh, well,
He must have had some great adventures.
yes, well, he was a very storied adventurer. Some of these paintings are of places that he that he had visited. And I'm afraid I can't remember any of them right now.
Well, if you do remember,
He said,
you're-
as part of the will and testament, he wished if you were to accept a small donation that would set you up for following in his stead. You see, I believe the spell that he cast was looking for the adventuring sort. Not just any old kin he had, but someone that might take up his mantle. You see, a few gold pieces will hire you some adventurers in this town.
oh, okay. I see.
That might
Yeah,
that might not interest you.
I have read many stories of great adventures, and some not so great ones.
Well, perhaps you would become a great adventurer like Caspian once was.
I could.
I should like to hold a funerary service for him.
Yes, that does seem the right thing to do.
Perhaps some earnings that you find might. No, I couldn't possibly ask you to do such a thing. The Caspian was loved by all who lived in this town, and his death will be a great loss. Though we have felt it for some time, it being 50 years since his last departure. Some have begun to forgot his name, though we have a statue of his in the center of square.
Did I see that statue?
You did not see that statue.
Hmm.
You walked through the center square.
Well, I'll see. Yeah, I'm sure they'll all be grieving.
You can petition to have someone declared dead after 7 years. Is that the Cormier law? 7 years. I mean, in Faerun, it's probably a lot shorter than that. It's probably a couple of months.
Didn't see them since breakfast. Probably dead.
Probably dead. Dragon gone. Dragon gone.
Well, what will you do? Sorry, my liege. The lord of the house.
I don't like that. I'm Randall. Just call me Randall.
Master Randall.
Fine. Well, given
We've already started a campaign and Dux has already got a title he doesn't want.
God damn it.
One of the fucking boulders got him, probably.
Well, first I'm gonna go to my rooms because
Oh, yes.
I need to put this stuff down. And then, do you have a towel?
I have my own towel.
Okay, never mind.
So he gives you a short tour of the facilities, as it were.
Wait, Goldfinch gifted 4
Goldfinch.
1 subs.
Oh.
Goldfinch, thank you.
Randall needs a placard saying, "I am Randall."
It can happen.
It's just a big gold chain.
Yes, and he's like a
It's got like 4 A's in it as well.
Randall. So so as you came up to the house, you did see that there was a very small shack, kind of a small hut building, that you assume is what he was referring to as where his residents are. In front of you are 2 staircases. To the left and right are small turrets, just that border the front door. That are very small, kind of 1-story towers. He shows you that there are a number of beds located in this small area. Most of them appear to be servants' quarters. 2 of them are on the ground floor. But there is a relatively large hall laid out with a long table with a fireplace that takes up the majority of a wall. The other side of that fireplace is the kitchens. And the kind of extended servants' quarters, which has 9 beds in it. There is a food storage area, and there is an area just filled to the brim with kegs that you imagine at once had wine in. Many of them do not anymore. 1 or 2 of the barrels still do. They look ancient and untouched.
Right.
Perhaps out of reverence. Unfortunately, the house is filled with boulders, as I once said, several of which block access to the rest of the house, some of which reveal the house to the outside. There is also a graveyard around the back entrance, which you cannot access from the outside, though it does have kind of a steel fence that you can see through, as well as a door in the graveyard that leads into the house. But again, you can't access it from this side. With cakes? Who needs wine cakes when you can have wine cakes?
Dangerous things, wine cakes.
Hey, so Beautiful bits. Beautiful.
Excellent. So what does Randall want to do?
Well, if there's like a room, he'll just dump some of his stuff in there. Not that he has a huge amount of things. It's just like his bedroll and his like tinderbox and stuff like that. He doesn't really need now.
So he has quite a selection of different rooms that he can put his stuff in. The turrets either side of the front door both have their own bed. Although when you go inside them, you realize that there is a massive balliste in there as well. However, both of them seem to be one of them seems to be broken. The other one, Atticus says, is in working order. There is one additional room that has its own bed. The rest of the beds are all within one room. The 9 that are by the kind of servants' quarters.
I'll probably just take one of those.
One of 9.
Yeah.
All right. Okie dokie. If there isn't an NPC that's 3 boulders in a trench coat. Okay. In any case, that's the layout that you've got so far. You've got, I mean, a lot of beds, a lot of empty kegs, and a second story, which also has the only place that you can access on the second story, or the first story, I suppose, is a room directly above the front door that has a glass kind of glass windows that you can open out to kind of have a look over the village and the valley, and some sitting area.
Just slightly disappointed there isn't a library, but maybe that's somewhere else.
Not that you can access.
Okay, and then I guess I'm gonna walk back into town and look for some pithy adventurers.
Some pithy adventurers.
Okay.
Okay.
Pithy adventurers, great.
Yeah, don't have any of those. Sorry. Right. So if we move you back over to Nesmith, as you leave, you are given some vague directions by Atticus. He says,
Well, if you're going into town, we could use another towel, I suppose. But you could also, if it interests you, I don't want to force Caspian's ways upon you. There is the Adventuring Preparation Store of Nesmith. It is run by 2 half-elf young ladies who are very lovely in their own way, Villette and Velithia. They are very nice, and they will sort you out, I think, if that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, yes, towel would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But unless, as the master of the house, you bid that I fetch some towels, I apologize. It's been 50 years.
That's all right. I've got it. I gotta go in there anyway, don't I? So
very well, young master.
Please stop.
So making your way back into town, walking down places past, and you're homebound, you find your way to the Adventuring Prep Store of Nesmith, directly opposite the Curled Talon. As you do so, you walk through the center of town, through the town square again, and you notice that there is an indentation. Please ignore the Korean keyboard. You notice there's an indentation in the ground that looks like some grass has grown unevenly, in a way that perhaps it's growing out of a place that used to have something in its place, if you know what I mean. It looks like perhaps there was a statue here at some point, and that the earth is resettled and the grass is clearly separate from the grass that surrounds it. But the Adventuring Prep Store is quite easy to find because there is a big old sign on the front. It looks like they're doing quite well for themselves, which does not surprise you, knowing that that this small town has a bit of a reputation for generating adventurers. Okay. To Adventuring Prep Store of Nesmith you go. It takes a very short amount of time for you to get to talk to the managers, basically the clerks. Like I said, Villette and Villithier, who basically take 1 gold piece from you, and it all happens so quickly you barely feel like you have a say in it.
Oh, so I've been robbed, right?
No. Basically, they bring you into the shop, and it looks like they're going through the motions just so quickly that you're surprised that you're even there. They kind of bring you in. They kind of take you by the arm and pull you towards this front desk. They put a piece of parchment in front of you that looks like some kind of contract. They put a quill in your hand and put your hand against the paper and start moving your hand for you. And they put their hand out, and you just take part, and you just put a gold piece in their hand, and they push you away. And before you know anything, you are sat down in front of them, both of them at a table, in a room just separate from a main kind of seating area. And both of them, these quite well looked after female half elves, are sat in front of you, their hands like this, and saying, "So, what can you bring to an adventuring company?"
Well, I've got my stick. I come with a stick.
He's got a stick! Isn't that hilarious? It's not very funny. He's got a stick! You hit them with it! I don't think that's very funny. You're no fun. No. You've got a stick. Go on. I'm interested.
I have. Well, see where I'm from. I'm now, for some reason, Cornish.
It's getting good. I'm liking this. Is he going to be shit like the other ones? No, he's getting good. Come on, give him a chance.
You're making me do your accents, and I hate it. I've read so many adventuring books. I know everything about adventuring.
Oh, do you?
All of the greats, like that one and that other one.
Give us an example. Go on. Yes, I'm titillated.
Well, there was this one adventurer.
Yeah, this one adventurer. Yeah.
Called Alfred.
Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, I'm listening now.
They said he could command 1,000 owls.
Oh my gosh! Can you roll me a persuasion or a performance check, please?
Oh, this is going to go terribly.
Adam just goes, "Don't cross the streams."
It's fine. It's not,
Let me tell you about King Dane.
the fairy story. It's fine.
Hey, Griff.
Yeah.
Are we getting this roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
I can't find any of the rolls, okay? I don't remember.
It's been so long.
Long time.
She's like, well, that sounds fascinating. Alfred, with all of his owls. That's incredible. I love it. Yeah, well, you know one story. That's enough for you. Oh, I just love it. That's so good. You can go. If you stand outside, give me another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Okay.
It whizzed by. Before you're even in the door, you're basically back out of it again. You are now stood there. You have a piece of paper, which is your contract, that is still in your hand. You're kind of just like this. Like, what's just happened? Like, you're now in the kind of a front, kind of a waiting area. Here you can see several other would-be adventurers. Katie, why don't you describe very, very briefly what your character looks like?
So you see a young woman, probably half elfin, ears slightly pointed, but not very much so. She's got really, really long, very silvery white hair. She's got a very plain, sort of like robe looking garment on that's like grayish and beige with a really nice, actually looking purple cloak over it.
Okie dokie. And you also see a gobbo. Jenny, please describe your character in appearance.
Okay. She has ginger curly hair that's kind of long. It's more like fiery red at the bottom. She's wearing dungarees with a roll-neck jumper that's purple in colour. She has a little purple headband on, and she's wearing a leather jacket with a bunch of like patches and drawing down. But she got big
Love it.
boots on. She got big boots on.
If you want to give it the example of what the cloak and the coat and stuff looks like on
It's
the
in
stream or
Discord.
in chat or something, if you want to link it. It's been 2 months and Doc's forgotten all knowledge of Roll20. Hey, Roll20 is not the most intuitive thing in the world, okay? So in front of you are these two individuals. You also see a young female elf who, oh no, she's a halfling. Sorry, I got my notes mixed up. Sat on one of the chairs, both of her legs up, cross-legged. She is wearing a very long pink robe with a kind of a bright pink kind of halter top, and she's got it like the robe is like open, so you can kind of see what she's wearing underneath. She's wearing long pink flared trousers. Her hair is very, very blonde, and it's very, very straight. But you can see that she has tattoos all the way up her neck to here. And you can see that these are, once again, these are kind of various different colors, but the motif is mostly pink. It's just like pink, and there's some white ink that you can see in there, which is impressive in itself. And she sees you as you go out, and she goes, and she is called in next, as the sisters kind of poke their heads out and say "kawaii," please, in here. So she gets up, she runs across the floor, and the door is closed. Now you are waiting out in the hall, just the same way as everybody else is. Nurali and Oro are also out here. Is there any? Are you the kind of people who would be making small talk?
I am not.
Okay, Nurali is not the one who'd be making small talk. Would she be answering questions if she was asked them?
Yes.
Or like, okay.
Like I will speak when spoken to, but I'm definitely not going to go out of my way to address somebody.
Okie dokie. How about Oro?
I kind of wanted to just be like in our own world, like picking a teeth with a toothpick or something like that. Just kind of
That's
like
fine.
not really
Yeah,
paying
that's
attention
totally
to
okay.
anything.
She's very much focused on something completely out of this domain. Very well. How about Randall? What would Randall be doing?
I think he'd just be looking around and be like, "What was all that about? What's this? Who are you?"
Nurali and Oro, you have both been given these contracts as well. You've already signed them, and you've both had the chance to read over them. Would each of you like to give me an investigation check just to see how well you understand the contracts?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, it's a 3.
That's a 3. That's a
I
5.
forgot to pick it up.
Okay. There's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo in there, so you don't really know. The best guess that you've got is that you probably owe them a little bit of money now, maybe from event. The gist that you've got is that they will try and set you up with quests, at least for the get go. The sales pitch that you got from these sisters is that they kind of that Nesmith is the go-to place for budding adventurers in Cormier, because everywhere else requires that you sign up with hefty fees that you simply don't have the money for. So these guys come in, they take a small amount of money from you, and they say, okay, if people come to them with quests, and then they say they put them on a board, and you get access to the board, basically. That is what you got. You didn't think to ask questions about like, when does the contract end? How can I leave? Like, am I bound to you forever? That kind of thing. You just didn't have a chance to go to that. You want to go out into the world and die as a group? That'll be 5,000 gold.
Really, it makes sense to have an expensive entry, so that way somebody who is inexperienced wouldn't just go out into the world and die.
Or only rich people go out and die, and that's fine.
I'm okay with this.
So Randall's come out and basically gone like, the fuck? What's the response from Oro and Nurali?
Oh, he comes out to us and says that?
Yes.
Or just like, are you addressing us, or are you just kind of like, walking out looking confused.
Just walking out kind of a bit dazed and confused and like talking to whoever's there.
To the room, as it were, kind of just saying it out loud.
Or gets
Is
out
that
her
something that
contract.
Oro and
Yeah, she gets out
Yeah.
hers and just points it up as well. I was like, oh, fucking, I don't know. I have two.
Confusing.
Oh, she's
Well-
so cute already now.
already the door opens. Kawaii comes out. The sisters call in.
You gotta sing it though.
Alright.
You can't just say.
Yeah.
And Oro is called in. Oro, would you come in here, please?
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, look at you. Oh, you're so cute with your little. Oh my God, the ensemble is amazing. And the door closes behind them. Now you have.
Your ensemble. Took me a second to realize.
Ensemble.
You've got Neurali, Kawaii, and and Randall are now sat out in the waiting room. Oro, you have now been brought into the fold. The sisters are on a desk in front of you. Even the less of the interested ones, Vilithia, who is largely not interested, is actually kind of on the edge of her seat about your interview. And she's the one that first speaks. She says, "You want to be an adventurer, do you?
Yeah.
You're a goblin."
Oh.
Not that I've got a problem with that. That's fine. Goblins are. I like goblins. Fine. I've got loads of friends with the goblins. You just be the first. I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably.
That's cool though, right?
I think that's amazing. I'd love to see you going off and killing some like giants or something. What have you ever done? Like, what's your deal? What you doing?
Well, you might know, we might have heard of me. I was the main act in the circus in the town a couple of over. You might have recognized me.
Oh my God. No. What? What you do?
Wait, hold on.
That's amazing. Even
Oro-
the other one is.
Because of her background in entertainer, she has the by popular demand little thing.
Oh.
Let me put it in there.
You can always find a place to fight for entertainment, such as a gladiatorial arena or a secret fighting club, where if you perform, you can earn free lodging and food. You are also a bit of a local celebrity. Strangers recognize you in a town where you perform, and they regard you fondly when they do. Okay.
So what I just wanted
So-
to do is just to kind of do some like acrobatic shit, like what she used to do. Maybe she puts like some apple that she has on a table that's far from everyone and just gets a like she just does some like cool shit for like a minute.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
and she just sets it down, and that's
Okay. Well, I mean, so you basically like they are fucking all smack. They're just like, oh boy, are you looking at this? It's fucking goblins doing tricks. Like you kind of get up, you start doing like backflips off of chairs and shit, and you're like, there's a fucking chandelier in here for some reason that you start swinging off of. Like there's all this shit that no one ever impressed.
Was that
There was
chandelier?
one.
No, but now there is one, and everyone's just like, oh Jesus, what? Fucking hell! And before you even get a chance, they've signed off your document and they've handed it back to you. And just go out there. Wait for me 5 minutes, would you please? And you're ushered out immediately. You barely even get a chance to say anything else.
Okay. Yeah. She's been picking it back to picking her teeth. So.
And you come out to the scene that is Neurali and Randall sat with Kawaii. Have you guys had a chance to talk to her? Would you like to, or is she just too intimidating for you?
I'm not going to start a conversation with anyone unless I have to.
Okay. How
Just-
about Randall?
Deep engrossed in reading what the hell
Okay.
I've actually signed.
Okay, that's fine. Do you want to do an investigation check to see what you've given yourself into?
No, because I'm pressing all the wrong buttons still.
Oh my gosh!
God.
I am pressing all the wrong buttons. That's the second crit investigation roll that you've had today.
I am an investigator.
Okay, you are well, like you've had like a couple of minutes now. Minutes was more than you needed, whilst Oro distracted.
I'm used to like reading these really cryptic, horrible old tomes.
Yeah.
So this is written in plain English. Like,
Not only is it written in plain. I mean, there's a bit of legal jargon in there, but for the most part, you can see all of the writing. Like it hasn't degraded.
Yeah.
Like it's there. Like the ink is still like relatively fresh. what the fuck is that about? But you're reading it through, it's like, okay, so it seems to be that you pay 1 gold piece as a flat fee as you enter. 10% of your findings go to these people on any quests that you take from their board. You have no obligation to stay and only quest with them. And one of the sheets that comes with it is an information sheet that basically says if you quest anywhere outside of these areas without kind of being on a chartered adventuring group in Cormier, you will be arrested. It's basically said Nesmith and the surrounding areas are our domain. We get the blind eye turned towards us, but if you go anywhere else, you're fucked. Kind of thing. Like, you're on your own, we're not going to help you out, kind of thing. And it basically says, you know, the quests are on the board in this building, updated as frequently as quests are given. And Neurali is ushered away. You come in and you take a seat on what is now a slightly damaged chair, because you could hear from the other room that some crazy shit was going on down here. And the half elven sisters sit down and they're like, oh, they're like, oh my goodness, they're still like breathing heavily from just like the excitement. And they sit back down and they go, and she kind of turns to her sister and goes, I don't know what she can do that's going to be any better than that. That was fucking amazing. You let the other one in. He didn't fucking do anything. You read a book. Right, good point. Yeah, we're a bit thin on people right now. So what? She reads out paper. Randall. Is that right? Randall. What'd you do? Not Randall. Neurali. Wrong person. I apologize. The DM
left a strong impression.
The DM fucked up a little bit there. It's not the characters. Don't believe them.
The character said my name.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Nearly. Gosh, you're beautiful, but you're quiet.
Thank you. Well,
Speak up.
I'm sorry. I can do a lot of things, but most of them would require me to hurt you, so I'd rather not do that.
Oh Jesus! She's threatened us already.
No, that's not what I meant to do.
Shut up. Come on, darling. We're listening to you.
And so I look around. Is there anything like on the table, like an unused piece of paper or a pencil or just anything like mundane?
There's a stack of those contracts that have not been filled out yet.
Okay. I'm going to take one of those and just like and set it back down on the table. I'm going to cast mending. So okay. I reach like into my robe and I pull out a little wand.
Of course she has a wand.
And I cast mending and put it back together.
Okie dokie.
That's one thing.
Well, I should fucking hope so after you destroy our property.
Well, I knew I could fix it, so.
All right, well, still pretty impressive. So you're a caster. You got magics.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good with the book learning? Is that what it is?
No, I learned how to. Someone taught me.
You got to. All right. Okay. All right. Well, either way, you're fine. Probably. I mean, Cormier likes wizards, is what I'm saying. It's like spellcasters are good. You'll be all right. You're most villages and towns around here have their own wizard. Ours is a bit eccentric. But they're all, for the most part, adventurers in some kind. You get away with a little bit extra when you're a wizard. Honestly, good. What you've done there is enough for me. I loved it.
Thank you.
You're so gorgeous. Gosh.
Thank you very much.
My ears are a little bit pointier, though, don't you think? Yes, your ears are pointier. Yes, your ears are pointier. Well, thank you. You didn't have to say that. So thanks so much. Oh, kindly. Go on, Nearly. You're right. We'll see you around, love.
Thank you. And I get up and kind of like, there's a lot of robe and like, what is that thing called? A cloak. And so I kind of like I have to untangle it a bit from the chair, and I get up and walk out.
Okie dokie. Well, as you are led back into the main room, you here have Oro, Nearly, Randall, and Kawaii, who have all been gathered together. You're followed out by the sisters who say, I'm glad to say that you guys are now an adventuring party. Congratulations. You better get to know each other because you're going to go on your first adventure as soon as you like. Unfortunately, we've only got the one here at the moment. And they point towards the board, which currently has one piece of paper on it, one piece of parchment that has been spread out. And you can see that it is signed at the bottom, and it also has their name printed. And it says Golgar Bronzejaw. There is a small description of the quest they're asking for help on. And the sisters say, "That's all you got. You take it or you leave it. We've got some work to do." And they both march outside the door, go back into their office and close
Take
it.
the paper.
Don't even give
Okay.
it a chance. So, perhaps it's time for a bit of a pee break.
Randall's immediately taking that.
Handle it.
It's gone down. Okay. Pee break, and then
And
we can discuss the quest that's on this piece of paper. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Chair in my way.
Oh,
Hello.
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 Okay.
And 15-minute shenanigan break. Don't worry about.
Why are you only allotting 15 minutes?
True, we need way more time.
It does not seem like enough time for shenanigans. Tom, Adam and I are going to guest as two kobolds in a trench coat. Are you?
I like it.
Are you? There are a lot of kobolds in this village already. So a lot of the NPCs that we made as part of the community have made their way into the village in some way or another. Which hopefully, if any of you guys have a chance to donate your time and effort into making an NPC, then hopefully you'll see your efforts rewarded by a cameo at one point or another. But I think there are maybe at least 2 kobolds on there. Why are there so many kobolds that people make into NPCs?
I rather liked the sisters. I think they were brilliant and wonderful. I also might have submitted them myself.
Every time I read it, I read the second name wrong. I always say Velithia. I know
okay.
it's Belitha, but it's too late now. She's Velithia now.
Yep, that's fine.
As is the nature of D&D. Accidentally changing canon.
And I did put a picture of my character up in the Discord if anyone wants to go see it.
Oh, did you? Snip and Snap, 2 twin kobolds masquerading as a dragon.
D&D is heckin' wild. It is.
Jack.
Hey, Jack. I forgot the NPC sheet. I made one, but no idea if you'll make it in. Which one was yours, Godfinch? I unfortunately forgot to put a column for, like, if you made this character, please say that this is your character. So
So he didn't actually know that I submitted those when he picked them.
Yes, I had no idea. There are 2 that I know belong to Sky from the Discord, who I believe is Critical Fumble? Question mark? On Twitter, maybe.
Not sure.
Which was yours, Godfinch? You did Cat. Which one was Cat? Oh yes. Oh yes. Anyone else? Anyone else here that donated characters? I did a couple of them myself. We've got a couple of good fun ones. An eccentric gnome wizard who owns a shop. Oh.
Oh, I love it.
I did well half
of one. Also with
Thistle
a
the
halfling.
half-born, yeah. Quite a few of these are getting in.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them. Come on, docs. Stop pooping. Damn it,
You know,
man.
sometimes people just have stuff they need to do and they don't have to necessarily be pooping. I feel like you're just like, no, that's not what it is at all.
Nah,
in Tom's
people
world.
be pooping. People be pooping. No, they're always pooping. Should make a halfling wizard necromancer that owns a wig shop named Dandy Mops.
Dandy
My God, can you
Mops.
imagine someone just like making wigs from dead people?
Oh, I didn't make the connection until you said that. Oh,
Bill Fitz Stormkettle was his name.
that's a great name.
That's a great name.
It's
That's a great name.
Oops is back.
Welcome back. Good poop.
I was helping Nikki with a crossword.
Aww.
Wasn't even remotely pooping.
Me and Todd went
Not
to a
even close
wedding
to
party
poop.
yesterday. Me and Todd went to a wedding party yesterday. We were on there for less than an hour, and we did a bit of a crossword whilst we were. We got on our phone like, we'll try to finish this crossword.
that is the most.
Did you also go to the
introvert
wedding as
story
well?
I've-
Like, did you?
It was a
Was
wedding
it-
party. It wasn't like the actual
Oh my
like
God!
event.
So like a reception.
Yeah. Like everyone was just having a drink and listening to music and stuff.
So when you say wedding party, what I think of is that you were like a bridesmaid, and I pictured you up in like the like bridal party doing a crossword.
Oh, no.
instead of- yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay. Docs is muted again. Oh, you chewing? Is that why you're chewing? Is it you chewing when you move?
What are you eating?
Okay. What are you eating? Yeah. What you like?
Crispies.
Looks like corn chips. Or
Oh, cheese
Cheese
savories.
savories.
Can't go
He's
wrong
got the
with
cheese savories.
savories.
It's like a meme.
oh,
And by that I mean private joke.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
No, I always, it's the opposite of something.
Yeah.
it really is, yeah.
It's something that only 2 people know about. I always bully him for his snack choice to be really boring. It's just like, yes, I will have some cheese savories, please. Just like, you can have anything in the world and you choose cheese savories. They're the shit things that people put on at toddlers' birthday parties in a bowl. Nobody eats cheese savories.
Cheese savories are fine. Nothing wrong with cheese savories.
But that's exactly right. They're
Those are the
just
best Pocky flavour.
Anyway, in front of you is a parchment, the only parchment on the board, that reads help needed, item lost, also rats. And it says Golgar Bronzejaw, the Curled Talon Inn.
Do I have a chance to read that before Randall snatches it down?
You've been here for a little bit longer than Randall.
That's true.
So, I mean, would your character have already browsed it? Perhaps.
Yeah,
It's the
definitely.
pretty much the only thing on the wall. This room is very bare.
If it's been there for at least a day, I probably would have gone and looked at that first.
It's been there for at least a day. Yeah.
Okay, then I already knew what it was.
Okay. How about Oro? Oro, it's
Yeah.
a little bit taller than you are. It's maybe like 5 foot off the ground.
That's fine. I can still read it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've got a vague idea of what it is. Katwa E, however, does not. You just know what voice is going to come out now. Oh, you know what the voice is going to be. You know it. Hey,
What's that? What quest we got?
Wait,
Hey, I'm Kawaii.
I'm Randall.
As she extends her hand to shake yours, you can see like her robe pulls back slightly, and you can see that all of her hand is also as tattooed as up her neck is.
Cool.
As you do so, you can you feel like her skin feels alive, like you can kind of feel that it's kind of almost pulsating. It makes you feel very uncomfortable.
Oh, I don't like that.
Sorry. It's a condition. Makes my voice like this too.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. How are you guys?
Hi, I'm Aro. Nice to meet
It's a pleasure.
Does it hurt? Hi, I'm Gnarly.
You're both really cute.
Oh,
You're
thank you.
okay. But I'm not into that.
you. Who?
She points at Randall.
If it's the same thing as yesterday, it was for the inn. There were some rats, apparently. Or are some rats, apparently.
Well, for our dark god Cthulhu, let's go.
Oh yeah.
And
And it doesn't hurt?
she leads the way. Doesn't hurt her. It's gonna hurt me. This elf has to die, so Tom doesn't. It's okay. I fucked it up. She's a halfling. She's not an elf.
Oh.
And what
I
you say
corrected
first is-
myself. I corrected myself immediately after. She's tiny. She's an elf. Anyway, luckily for you, the inn is directly opposite, as I said previously. It takes mere steps before you're in the front door again, and there is Golgar Bronzejaw at the entryway behind the bar, directly in front of the door.
Well, back here again, I guess.
It's
Right.
a pretty nice place.
Oh, you were in here yesterday, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Not you. You were
No,
here
I was here
earlier.
today.
She's a pretty one. You're
Thank you.
you're you're right, I guess.
everyone's insulting Willits.
Oh.
Just- Nobody likes a bald monk.
Oro says, Randall, you're beautiful. It's fine.
Where are the rats at?
Everywhere. There's rats everywhere. Oh, why can't I get his voice right? Everywhere.
I think your mouth
Rats
needs to be
everywhere.
wider.
It's got to be down here. I've got my jaws right here.
There you go.
There's rats everywhere.
Well, the quest you put in is
Oh, a quest!
yeah.
You're all here for the quest.
Yeah.
Even you. You.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, even you.
Yeah.
Really?
There's something happening there. It must be.
All right. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come with me. He leads you out back. What you hadn't noticed about this place before is that it appears to run itself. You can see that there are drinks pouring themselves behind the bar. You see that there is a table on the other side of the room that is being mopped without anyone interacting with it. There is it appears that this tavern is taking care of itself. You wonder to a certain extent what Golgar's job is, considering he seems to be the innkeep. But so far, it's been taking your money. He leads you down behind the bar, down a staircase that leads into a cellar. Following the staircase even further takes you to a undercellar, a cellar that is under the cellar. Inside is more kegs than you would expect underneath a tavern, and there is a big kind of chunky hole in the wall The stone has caved in, and you can see that it has been boarded over with planks. The end of the room, closest to where this hole is, has several crates that have been broken into and their contents taken. And you can see that there is there's part of a chest that some kind of container that definitely stands out from the others that has been broken in half. The contents are missing, but the end of the chest is still there. Well, something happened, didn't it? Someone came in the wall. I don't want them to be in my wall. They came in my wall. Been loads of rats in there since. Don't like it. So I'd like you to go in that hole, clear it out, see if you can find what was in my chest. It was a sword, you see, an heirloom of my family. I'd like you to find it for me. If you find it, I'll pay you.
What did the sword look like?
Well, it had a blue hilt.
Hilt.
And it had some nice filigree along the blade. Very important to me. It was called the Semwick's Stabber. See,
Say that again for me?
actually, the Semwick's Stabber. Semwick is a family name. You see, it's not my family. It's someone else's family, but I took it from them. So it's mine now. It was their heirloom, and now it's my heirloom. But now it's gone.
Just out of curiosity, where did you take it from?
Does that matter?
I was just wondering.
Maybe
From
they
the
came and
Semwicks.
took it back.
Took it from the Semwicks.
Uh,
This was like 60 years ago.
Ah.
I want it back. So you're going to go find it in there, in that hole, wherever that hole leads. I don't want to go poking around in there. Stinks. Got rats.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Can we go now?
If you want to go now, it's yours, isn't it? I don't care till you bring me my sword, then I'm interested.
What if the sword's not in the hole? Then what?
We've got another problem, haven't we?
Find the sword.
I'll find out where they went from through that hole.
Okay.
Where's the old lead?
If they have taken it away and we clear out the rats, is there at least partial compensation?
Who are you?
I'm Nearly.
All right, we did meet already. I don't know why you're introducing yourself, but
You asked me
Nearly.
who I was. I thought maybe you forgot.
you think I'm stupid, do you?
I think
No, I just don't expect anyone to remember me.
Oh, well, that's a bit sad. Well, I do.
Then why did you ask me who I was?
He forces a really hard grin, and in so doing, you hear a pop and a scream as his jaw comes loose. Oh fuck, you bugger!
Is it broken?
No, it's working fine. Look, you can see it's hinged on there like that.
Is that supposed to come apart?
Well, it's just a bit greasy. Had some chicken wings earlier.
I'm gonna just like look at it and see if it's something I can fix with my mending.
It doesn't look like it's broken. It just looks like it's poorly made.
Ah, okay.
Well,
great.
you either go back upstairs or you go in that hole. Don't want you faffing around in my cellar. Stop rooting around in my
Underseller.
cellar.
Loads of rats there. You wouldn't want to do that.
Smells bad.
I've
Does.
got rodents.
If I look in, is it very dark in there?
To be honest, I welcome Tom voicing a commoner who doesn't sound like a caricature of a northern person. Hey, there are only some accents that I can do confidently, all right? I'm probably going to forget this one. I've already changed it. I've basically gone, all right, he's got a funky jaw. Put my jaw out like this, and then whatever comes out is his voice.
Well, it makes sense
like
that his
it.
voice keeps changing because every time he puts his jaw back, it's slightly different.
There we go.
Oh my
just gotta-
gosh, yes.
That is now canon.
So you just gotta,
That is now canon. That is the reason that his voice keeps changing. Thank you, Docs. Get an inspiration point.
oh, fuck yeah.
If you can ever come up with a way that my lazy DMing can be justified, then you get then you get inspiration points. First inspiration point in the game, gifted to you. Randall.
Randall.
Right, okay. Now, you fuck off or do something, yeah?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, Nurili, you look very offended by that. I meant, please get on with the job or leave. He smiles and once again looks like it might pop out. It doesn't quite. You can see that the hinge looks like it might pop out, but it leans back into its place. And you're like, whew, thank goodness.
Let's go then. Are we going? Everyone else ready?
I asked if it looked dark inside.
Does it look dark inside? It looks dark inside, yes. There are torches in the
Right.
undercellar. He was holding a torch, and he lit one as he came in. It illuminated the room somewhat, and you can see that it is essentially a cellar. It's a stone room that is not in any way decorated, apart from a few kegs and some crates that some of which are untouched. You can see that there are some bottles stored away in some, many bottles of old ales and stuff that are lining the walls. The hole in the wall.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, the hole in the wall in itself is obviously very dark. It's not lit down there at all, and is covered by planks of wood.
It looks like it's very dark in there. Will all of you be able to see?
Oh, you're asking us that?
Yes. I
Uh,
think he left. I was asking. all
Golgar's
of you.
gone, yeah.
oh, is he gone? Oh, I didn't.
Ah, shit. I still got the key.
I mean, I can see a bit.
I can't see anything.
Oh, you've got shitty human eyes, don't you?
I
I mean,
yeah.
normal human eyes.
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna reach over with just like my fingertip and touch the end of the quarterstaff he's got, and I'm casting the light cantrip on it. There.
Wow. She's very amazed by magic. Cool.
Kawaii leans over to you and takes your hand. She's very good looking. She takes your hand and she leads it into her hand, and she casts the light cantrip directly on the top of your forefinger and goes,
Lol.
Just not to me or to Randall?
onto Randall.
Yeah. I got so much.
Wow.
You can see now.
Well, I guess you're leading the
Guess we're
way.
going into the hole. Yeah, you call the light.
Right. I guess I'll Randall phone home. Guess I'll lead the way. Awkwardly.
The halfling also can't see. Tell me more, Adam,
Tell me more. Tell me more.
about my warlock.
Tell me more. Tell me
Warlock of Cthulhu.
more. Cthulhu. Oh,
These guys are level 1.
I look at Randall and I'm like, can you get those boards off of it?
Well, I can certainly give it a go, can't I?
Yeah.
And I want to just like put my quarterstaff behind and like use it as like a lever.
Give me a strength check.
Come on, more criticals.
If there's
Straight up
another, I was gonna
strength
say,
check.
if there's another critical,
That's
then
true.
I'm calling it that he actually just has 20 entered for everything.
Cool.
You, yeah, right. You successfully managed to lever one of the pieces off. It pops off with ease. It doesn't look like it's been especially well placed into this because it's essentially pieces of wood against a stone wall, and it's been someone's hammered way too hard into the rock, displacing the nail that was put in there. So it pops out quite easily. It doesn't take very much effort from here for you to make enough space for you to get through these boards, and quickly.
Right, everybody, let's go.
All right, okay. I'm gonna move you over to the map now in the hopes that everything has worked properly.
Darkness.
Oh, wow.
Darkness. I have a torch.
Where should we put
sorry.
our
We're in.
Tokens should be there. Can you see them?
Oh, magical lights.
Okay, there we go. I had to find where we were.
Oh, yeah. So
No, I need to have a token for kawaii. Jet. Oh!
Did you find one already?
Oh!
Is it Twitch appropriate?
I'm sure it's fine.
Let's just go with this one for now.
Then someone can come up with a reason why their picture changes. Okay.
Yeah, you get an inspiration.
Because we see them in a new light afterwards.
Oh,
Oh, that's good. That is
a
good.
new light of their death.
I'm trying to. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
here we
I
go.
want it to be like huge. That's definitely not what I wanted to do.
Can you put the dark vision on my token so that I can see 60 feet?
Me too.
Me? Oh, wait.
Okay.
'Cause I can't do it.
It's okay because I run really fast.
Into the darkness.
Yes.
This is the entertainment, like the not intermission entertainment, but the entertainment when like screens are being changed, scene change.
I'm trying to get this done, but it's
Oh, we need to
it's
just
roll
clip
20 is very
that
difficult.
and turn it into a soundboard sound.
Yeah, that Tom can play just where intermission happen. Just himself looping.
Should we go back to the
Maybe not in the cellar. That's scary. I don't know. Whatever you want.
too
There's
late?
another siren in the background.
I
Slightly more appropriate that way.
can't, you shouldn't be able to hear that. It's bad. Hi, lady. By the way, it's nice to see you. Am I seeing lady when I come over in Texas?
If you want
I should
to.
hope so. I should hope so.
I don't know if I've had a chance to tell Lady that you're coming to visit. Hey, Lady, tell me to come visit in a couple weeks. You want to hang out?
Okay. Please upload faster.
Text me.
Am
I'll
I
be
going
there.
robot
Okay,
yet?
good. I don't see you going
If I go
robot.
robot, it usually means that it's uploading.
Wait, what would be uploading?
The token.
Oh, I don't see it yet.
Just get a
There it
token.
is.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. She's just getting a shitty token for now. That's all she's getting.
That's fine.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. Finally, we can continue. So, what you have here is the entryway to a small corridor. Behind you is the gaping hole in the wall that leads directly into the undercellar of the Curl Talon. Very burpy today, I apologize. And here you are. In front of you is darkness only, apart from E.T. Slash Gandalf, who has his way of seeing around. The rest of you have enhanced vision, although it's only as enhanced as the dim light is. However, that's not necessary because it's lit up like a fucking Christmas tree in here. He's got a lot of light going on.
Oh.
So we've got it set so that the light and the vision will only move when you drop your token. So you'll have to move and then leave it for a second, then it will load in. That's just so you don't accidentally drag yourself somewhere you don't want to be and reveal a bunch of shit. So in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, you have a corridor, a stone corridor that is paved also with stone. At the end of this curvature here, you can see that there are many rat traps, or mouse traps, but larger, that have been laid out. All of them have been set. All of them have been set off, and there are maybe 20 rat traps here that are filled to the brim with rats. All of them are dead.
It is still a rat problem.
Cool.
Okay, well that's interesting. To the left, does it look like there's been like a cave-in type thing over there? Is that why I see rubble?
No, so that's behind you.
Oh, that's where we came from. Got it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay.
So to the east is the direction that you will be wanting to go. Though there are some corridors on and off around here.
Oh, so we've like broken through into another set of corridors, not like a tunnel or anything.
So no, there was the undercellar that you were in.
Yeah.
The wall itself had been collapsed. Something had broken in through the wall.
Right.
And then following that, you have found yourself in a corridor.
Oh, okay.
Does it seem like a crypt sort of scenario? Does it have that like untouched, stale air? Like maybe not crypt, but like underground, closed off, not often accessed?
It really stinks down here. Not like I mean, it smells of death to a certain extent because you are surrounded by dead rats at the moment. But the stench is a bit more than that. There's something really foul down here.
Well, I guess we better figure out what happened.
You want me to try and sneak ahead a little bit? Maybe have a look around the corner? I don't have any
That could be
lights, so
helpful.
just a little bit, you know?
I'll come with you.
And she skips ahead. She holds out her hand.
Sure. Sure.
You take a hand?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right
You
before
get that
you
uncomfortable... I'm sorry, go ahead.
right before she pulls her away, I'm just gonna kind of reach down and like pat her on the shoulder, and I'm going to say, "I trust you'll do your best," and I'm casting guidance on you.
Okie dokie. As you go forward, skipping along, well, one of you skipping.
Trying to be stealthy.
Do you want to roll your stealth check? With disadvantage because you are next to someone who is skipping.
Nin.
Yikes.
Oh, can I use my +6? Oh no, it's D6.
Yes, if you want to.
+4. Oh, you could.
Oh, and that.
You get a +4 from me. Or +4, excuse me.
You can use both if you want. So you get the guidance roll from Katie.
Which is D4.
Yeah, and you also get the D6 from chat.
I'll just leave it like that for now.
Okay.
You never know, I might need that later.
Okay. So you successfully roll a number and start kind of trying to walk up. And what you're essentially doing is you're kind of reining in Kawaii by like, you're trying to be stealthy and she's trying to like skip along. So you're like, which you've successfully done. You've reined her in a little bit. She stops skipping. She starts walking alongside you, kind of tiptoeing around. Again, you're holding her hand. You can feel that something is a bit gross going on there. It's like kind of dead and clammy. But as you step and you tiptoe around, you have to tiptoe around all of the mouse traps filled with rats, or the rat traps filled with rats, and you get yourself to just over here.
Ooh.
Here you can see that there are a number of different corridors. You have the corridor you continue following that will take you to the east. That looks like it opens up into a wider area. And you can just about see with your vision into the darkness from here that there are some pieces of construction equipment at the end of this corridor. Without being a bit closer, it would be harder to really kind of get a good look at it. To the north, you can hear a dripping sound, and to the south, you can hear like this is a similar dripping noise, but it's much more subdued.
Great. Well, I tell them so they can move forward then. About the construction equipment? Oh, you said, right? Construction.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling us that?
Is that rat noises? Is that what I hear?
I thought someone just had something squeaky.
Yeah, it's just like squeaky nose I have sometimes. Just can't breathe very well.
No.
I could tell because Tom had his mischievous face on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing something.
I
with that one.
suspected something.
And suddenly, fireball.
Oh shit, he's ready.
I love it.
I'm gonna
That's
forget
a
to
whole
use
new
this.
layer.
I love the idea that we've got some poor person who's just left on in the background, like the YouTube video of this in like a year's time, and they're just like, "What the fuck is this? Oh, he's doing noises. I just watched them stream the other day. They don't have any noises." It's yes, because I forgot to do it. Future Tom has forgotten to do it.
You have so much.
Just remind
Confidence
future
in
Tom in the
yourself.
comments below.
Anyway, so this is where you are currently.
So Randall's going to move up. Doesn't want to be left behind.
Okay. So are you going to make any attempt to sneak up to where they are?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of pointless given that I have 2 sources of light on me right now.
Okay. No worries. How about Neurally?
I'll stay back with him for now. If he's looking, do you look visibly frustrated with how much light you're emitting right now?
It looks like it's a bit awkward. Like he's like using one, and then it's like, oh, this one's just dazzling, and then just like.
I'll like touch the quarterstaff again and dismiss the second light.
Oh, okay. Probably look like I have a question.
It seems like a bit much with both.
Thank you.
So as you're walking forward to try and catch up with these guys, please roll a dexterity saving throw.
Here we go.
Wait, who's rolling?
Both of you.
Oh, I said
Randall.
I did say I was staying with him, so if he starts moving, I guess I'll do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were staying behind.
Nope, he said he was going forward. Okay,
Is that one of
well,
those interesting things?
luckily, Randall manages to step around the dead rats quite easily. However, Neurally doesn't notice that one of the traps hasn't been fully set off and steps directly in it. Fortunately for her, she's not a rat, so it doesn't immediately injure and
Doesn't
kill
break
her.
her neck.
However, it does do 1 point of damage as it slams down on your foot.
Ouch.
Is it something that, does Neurally have a high pain tolerance? Is it likely that she would have gone, made some kind of exclamation?
It would probably be like a.
Okay, so that's what you hear. So what you've just heard is a squeak behind you.
You okay?
Is there more rats?
I'm sorry, I stepped on one of the traps. I like reach down and I'm like, rubbing my foot.
You managed to detach it from your foot. And
Actually, you should have
that's-
kept it on, then you're immune to getting it again on that foot.
yes.
Tie them
You
on
just
his
come out
shoes.
in there and you're covered in traps and every like appendage you can.
It's the new kind of armor.
Right, well, the two of you managed to step up and keep yourself just about in tow with these guys. One of you has something on their toe, but that's fine. So in front of you, you have 3 options. Where do our characters go? What do they do?
What do you think? There's some dripping? There's some dripping, or there's some construction stuff.
Do I hear the rat squeaking when I get up this far?
Yes.
Which direction?
Give me a perception roll.
Okay. 9.
Trap
Have
armor
I rolled
causes
above a
trap
10?
It's the first game. Get it all out of the way.
we have had several rolls and I have yet to roll above a 10.
I love the idea of trap armor. Causes trap damage when someone grapples you. They go for it and they're just like,
Yeah.
you've got rat trap covering you.
You just got a bear trap on your chest.
Okay, so
I give
you
the best
are-
hugs. Sorry. Go ahead.
the different kind of bear hug. You cannot discern from which direction the rats are going.
I'm going to like stage whisper quietly, try to say, maybe we should go in whichever direction the squeaking sound is coming from. I can't really tell.
And I roll a perception. See if I can.
Yes, you can.
Oh, good.
Ooh, with a 10.
Oh, wait, do I have the 1d4 still?
You have the
D6.
1d6 still.
You do? Yeah, I used my guidance already. I could have guidance to you again, but I didn't think of it.
No, I won't use it. I won't use it. So now I'm
Okay,
I'm
right.
gonna save these d6s. It's gonna be like
They don't
mm.
last for more than the session, so if you don't
Yeah,
use
I
it
know,
in
I
this session, then it
know.
gets too okay, so you don't successfully discern which direction they're coming from. However, you do discern that they're quite a lot of them. You can hear that it's kind of echoed somewhat. I mean, has Oro been around any rats before?
I mean, I would assume, yeah.
I mean, being in the circus does in some.
She used to be around rats a
levels.
lot, but in the past like 10 years she hasn't.
All right, okay, but okay. Well, in that enough, we'll give her the, the kind of what you would expect to hear from a rat. That definitely sounds like a rat, 100%, and it sounds like quite a lot of rats. But it also sounds quite echoey, like maybe they're in a larger open space than just a, like a small nook and cranny in a wall or something. Is this campaign going to last round? Ooh.
Always go left.
Just go to the left, if no one can tell.
Well, it sounds like they're like echoey, you know? Can you hear the rat? Can you play the rat noise again? Okay. Quick, just listen. Listen to the. Does it sound like echoey? Like they're in a big area. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't tell. Maybe it's straight ahead then? That looks like it.
All I
opens
hear
up
is
there.
rats.
Maybe straight ahead is a good bet. Let's stop listening to the rats. Let's carry on.
I can't stop the noises, thankfully. They don't just continue going on forever.
10-minute soundbite.
I bet there is at least one healing spell kicking around at level 1 sorcerer. Wow. Hopefully not.
We didn't talk about what characters we were making ahead of time, so we just kind of made what we made.
Should we go forward then? Go forward?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to
feel
try
free to move
sneak?
your characters, or sneak if you want to. You continue role playing. I apologize. As a DM, I should not intercede.
Since we're catching up with him now, I'm going to try to move quietly. I don't have a lot of confidence in my ability to do that, but I'm definitely going to try. Yep, that sounds about right.
Oh.
Is this what you get for having a plus 15 to everything in the last game?
that's I didn't even have to do it. That's just how bards work. This is why I design characters that get plus 15s to everything, because I don't roll above 10. Anyway, yeah. So once they move, I'll just move behind them, not nearly as quietly as I hope to.
Okie dokie. So Oro, where are you trying to go?
Just straight ahead as far as I can.
Okay, well, move yourself.
How is it actually?
Yeah, it's a straight corridor.
That means there's traps. Yeah, just move yourself.
Right
there.
Put yourself wherever. Okay, so as you move down this corridor,
on the way past, can I stop in front of the stairs and have a peek down?
With your
yes,
finger.
you can. Yeah, you can have a peek down with your finger. So down here, I suppose you're casting a 60-foot light on you, not 30. So I'll give you the. Down here, what you can see is a small room with a grate in the floor underneath. You can see that there is some water dripping from the ceiling down into this grate. It looks like some kind of part of a sewer system. As you shine this bright light into this room and you step up to the echoey staircase, making no attempt to be quiet, you flash this light into the room, catching the eye of a rather large rat.
Ugh.
That is the least of your concerns, as this
Oh.
rat scampers away into the darkness. A couple of seconds later, from this darkness, pouring into this corridor, comes a huge swarm of rats. There are maybe 100, 200 rats that come directly towards you.
I found the rats, guys.
Turn around.
What is your response to standing in the stairwell and just seeing a huge wave of rats coming in your direction?
Just start like bashing them.
Okay, you're just gonna attack them? You're gonna attack the rats?
Yeah.
Okay, draw me some attack rolls then. All right, okay. That's for sure more than one rat. Yeah. Why did it have to be rats? So as these rats come pouring up the staircase at you, you just start bapping at them again. No! However, they don't seem that interested in you. In fact, they pour right past you. Although they do get a couple of nicks in. So please, what is your armor class?
15, I believe. Yeah, 15.
Okie dokie.
It's all
you
around my
take-
ankles.
You take 1 point of damage. How about the others in this corridor?
Which way to the rat's head?
They go straight. Oh, actually, no, you're not in it. Luckily for you. However,
Yeah.
Kawaii is. She is directly, well, not directly in the path, indirectly in the path of where these rats come. So they come pouring through this corridor in from the north directly into the south. You can see that grate in the bottom where some more water has been filtering in from the ceiling. And they pour into that room, scurrying past you, in so doing, making bites and tearing into the robes that Randall is wearing. And as they do so, they pour over Kawaii, and they, her being quite small, knock her to the ground. Fortunately, she's not directly in the path. She's indirectly in the path. So she kind of has her feet swept in from underneath her. And she goes, oh, fuck! as her legs are nippled up. And she goes, fuck! And there's a huge booming wave comes from outside of her. Rats go scurrying against the walls. You can see that there are splats everywhere. There are rat corpses dripping from the ceiling and the far walls that she's launched them all in the opposite direction back towards where you came from. Bits of rat traps and the dead rats that were in the traps. A lot of rats, I'm happy to say, have also scurried around everywhere. The noise is deafening and it's super, super loud. It fills throughout this corridor and all of the adjacent corridors. And she goes, fuck, 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 oh my god, what the fuck? And she gets back up and you can see that she's now kind of grabbed onto Neurali as she stands up and scurries next to you. Oh my god, what the fuck? You can see now that her robes are now rolled up much higher onto her sleeves. And now you can see all of her arms are covered in these tattoos. Again, they go up to her neck. And you can see they're quite intricate, but they seem to be kind of dark sigils. You can recognize a couple of them from your studies. They appear to be of a similar script as Celestial, which I'm aware that you studied whilst you were in your time away, in your backstory. And you recognize that these are all kind of infernal in a way. Just fuck.
Who recognizes that they're infernal?
You do. Only you.
I do. Okay.
The rats now have poured past through the northern route and poured into the cellar of the the southern route of the cellar and filtered away. Now you are no longer surrounded by rats, although on the end of the quarterstaff is now a punctured rat. Oh my god, please, can we go?
What caused them to run this way?
She points directly at Randall.
Have
you heard of stealth?
Well, he can't see, so...
Did you see anything up the corridor?
Well, you see there was a rat.
Right.
And there was a big rat.
A big rat?
Real big rat.
Like bigger than me rat?
not that big,
Okay.
like a small dog rat,
Oh.
and then all these rats,
Maybe we should go check.
and like there's a dripping, and there's like a grate in there.
Let's have a look.
Okay, so you want
Right.
to walk into the northern room up here?
There's probably not any rats anymore.
Probably.
So if you were to look up there, move your token. No, I love you. Why do you do these voices to yourself? So in this room is, like I said, a massive grate in the floor, and there's a grate in the ceiling as well. It looks like this is part of a sewer system, so it doesn't surprise you that you're seeing all these kind of functionary pipes and whatnot. If you move a little bit further into the room, you also see that there is a pipe in the wall that is covered by a grating that you cannot follow, and it's way too small for anyone to traverse unless they were like tiny.
A rat.
Or a rat. But what you do see in here is a shit ton of rat droppings.
Holding up the bottom of my robes and my cloak. Like,
Jenny. There's a yeah, it's gross in here. It's terrible.
Maybe
so
that's why it
there was
smells
a rat that was bigger than all the others, and it ran into the one that was too small for a person to fit through, correct? But it was bigger
There's
than the
no,
others?
it wasn't bigger than the others. It was just a big rat.
Oh, okay.
In the grand scale of rats, it was a big rat. It wasn't a giant rat. It was just a big rat.
Is there like rubble lying around anywhere?
Not in here.
Okay. I'm gonna look down the grate on the floor, just like,
It is super, super dark, and it goes down a very long way.
I don't see anything for 60 feet then.
No. Well, at one point it kind of like, again, it's a grate, but at one point it kind of curves off and goes in a different route.
That's the grate on the
Okay.
floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say we can't see anything in the other grate on the left-hand side?
In either of them, it just looks like
Okay.
it's part of a system that's filtering water from one place to another.
Okay.
Or waste, rather. Fluid.
Check the other side of the hallway before we continue on, just so nothing
Yeah.
jumps out at us from behind.
Sure.
Okay, so what you find in here is a similar outlook. This is essentially another kind of waste comes in, waste goes out situation. However, there are several crates in here. It looks like this point was at one point left as some kind of storage area, but they have been wrecked. It looks like if whatever they had in there has been gnawed into nothingness. However, there are on the walls unlit torches and unburned torches. There are two, one on each side, one on the north and the south.
I feel like we should take them.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoop them up because then I feel my torches behind.
Okie dokie.
Because I walked into town being like, not gonna need any fucking torches.
Okay, if you want to put some torches in your inventory, feel free.
Is there just two of them?
There are
Oh.
2 torches, yes.
I have like a bag, it's like a big satchel, like kind of like on a belt. And I reach in and I'm like, oh, did you need a torch?
I would like something. For...
Do those look like really old and gross? Like they are too damp to be lit or anything?
They do look like they've been old and gross. However, they've been up on the wall. They look like they're mostly they would be functional as torches.
Okay, whichever you'd prefer.
I think we should take them both just in case, I guess.
I'm taking one.
Taking one?
Okay.
Okay, I'll take the other one because you two have light.
I don't need it right now.
Okey-doke.
E.T.
Wow.
That's why you said E.T. because it's on his finger. I was like, who is E.T.? Okay. I know stuff and things.
Okay. So you happy with your exploration of this area? Would you like to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, at the end of this corridor, you find, like I said, abandoned construction tools. What you see is a huge wooden board that has been kind of like hooked onto the wall. It looks like it's kind of just been left there. It was like lent against something to keep it off the floor, and it's been put in place. You can see that the hooks that are keeping it up have been kind of twisted into the wall, so it looks like you probably take them out. But you can also find that there's a small toolbox here with some nails and a hammer or two, with about 20 foot of rope that is dangling off of the hook that's keeping the plank of wood up. That's pretty much it, what you got so far. So a toolbox with some hammer and nails in, and a 2 foot by 4 foot wooden plank that has been just rested against the wall. Again, it looks like it was put up there just purposefully for later use, kept away from the floor. Whether or not that's because of it being a sewer and thinking there'll be water down there that would damage it, or for whatever purpose.
Well, someone's been down here.
Well, it's a sewer, ain't it? Like,
I don't know. Is this normal for sewers?
Does the toolbox look like it's been there a while, or like it's?
Yeah, I mean it's got
Yeah.
cobwebs on. It's been abandoned.
Okay. Maybe we'll need some of this stuff. You might need a wooden plank. Who knows?
it could be a friend.
At this point, you guys are a little bit further down the corridor. You're now about down here. And what you can see is that the pathway to the south leads to a for realsies sewer. This tunnel down here is filled with sewage. The liquid, I'm going to say water from now on, but let's be honest, it's not. Is about what it looks
poo.
like. I mean, it looks like it might be a little bit deep. It looks thick. To the north of you, you can see that there's a
How many
staircase.
C's?
I mean, it's hard to tell from here how many C's there are.
Okay.
Certainly not the high seas.
It's more of
It's
a
like- it's
low
the-
or middle C.
It's like the poo C's. The poo C's!
Yeah. We,
So
I think,
where we can't see beyond to the right, to the east of us, is that where the wooden board is at?
Yes.
And does it look like the rope that's dangling down would meant to be to like pull it?
No, it just looks like it's been left there.
Okay.
does it look like? Does it like go up to like a manhole or something? Is this like a way in or out or something?
There is a manhole in the ceiling, yes,
Ooh.
which you notice because you have actively looked up. It's not like, in your dark corridor, you don't spend a lot of time looking up, to be honest. There is a manhole.
Especially when there's drips.
Yeah. But there's like, if you now having noticed that and looking up and down the corridor, there is only a manhole here at the end of the corridor.
Right.
There are no ladder rungs in the wall or anything. It's just there's a hole.
And does the rope go all the way up?
No, it's dangling free by the plank.
Okay.
Well, I'd rather not cross that. And I point at like the gross water.
Mm.
Could try that way first.
It's
and
also where all
she's
the
like,
rats went.
how do you know where they went?
I thought we saw where they went.
The rats went down here into the south tunnels there.
Oh, we could see that from all the way where we were before?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they
That's
like
where-
ran under me and into that other corridor. We went
Yeah,
in the
they
room
went
and there was no one there.
through here to here. But you didn't see where they went when they were in that room.
So we go north? What was it?
I'd rather start there.
Okay. Feel free to move yourself.
Stairs.
More stairs. And guess what's around the corner?
Sewage.
Rats. Poop. Rats
Keep
poop.
going. That's poop.
I'm definitely not going to be in the front, so
More stairs.
Stairs. It's just a consistent loop of stairs.
So down in this room, I wouldn't go too far if I were you, because I'm going to explain a little bit and you're going to be
Sorry,
like,
I thought you were like.
yeah, down in this room, you can see that the ceiling is kept up by some planks of wood. These are less plank and more studs of wood that are keeping the ceiling up. You can see that this room looks like it's not very stable. Parts of the wall have fallen in on the north side, and you can see that there are bones scattered across the floor. Some of them are underneath some debris that looks like the ceiling has collapsed on them. You can see that there is a small amount of feces on the ground. Again, it looks like it might be rat stools. But on the far side, there is a small chest that it looks relatively untouched.
What can we see? What kinds of bones we're talking?
You probably have to get a bit closer and to do an investigation check.
Let's see. Oh,
Or point your laser finger and have a look.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
I look around on the floor and see if, like, obviously somebody put this here, and like, I'm suspicious that somebody's been doing weird things down here because there's like a random board hanging up, and I just want to see if there's like footsteps or like just like, I don't know, anything of note, since there's like nothing but bones and poo.
Sure.
Anything.
Give me an investigation check or perception check. No, investigation check makes more sense.
Darn. Okay.
Oh.
Whew. It's just baffling to you. It's just it's weird, massively weird.
I just have no idea what's going on. It's like, maybe this way. Let's go. Yeah, sure. I'll follow you guys.
So in front of you is bones, debris,
I want to
a chest, and poop.
look around with the old laser pointer.
Laser pointer, yeah, okay. So
Look
give
at
me a
the
perception
bones.
check from where you are.
Perception is in the list under P. Boop.
Oh, 21. So like I said, from here
What's
you
it
can see
like?
that. What's it like rolling above a 10?
It's terrifying. It's terrifying because any moment I'm going to fall from my lofty heights.
Next, when you need it, it's going to
Yeah.
be very low. So what you can do here is with basically a beam, you start lighting up different areas of the room that will give you a little bit more insight into what's going on here. You can see that at least some of the bones that have been trapped underneath one of the pillars is that of an orc. However, there are some bones that are miscellaneous. It's hard to tell from where you are. Basically, you're not into anatomy.
Pick and mix.
It's pick and mix. It's just miscellaneous bones. And like I said, you can see the crate of the chest from the other side of the room. It looks like in the far corner, you can see that part of the floor itself has fallen in. There is a crate on a tile, and the tile itself is sunk. The crate itself is sunk with the tile. It's still kind of popping out of the floor. It also looks relatively untouched, apart from the fact that it's hairy as fuck.
I have a bad feeling about this. What are those bones? They look bigger than rat bones.
It's all kinds of bones, isn't there? So you got there's a few orc bones, and then just other bones. General sewer bones.
They grow in the sewer.
That's probably whoever was down here hanging boards,
Yeah.
and who left that chest over there. You said everybody saw that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Why is the chest okay though? Because the crates were all destroyed.
Well, doesn't it look like that thing collapsed?
The majority of the crates that have been destroyed look like either they have been gnawed away, or part of the ceiling has fallen on them. It looks like it's luck alone that chest is still in one piece. And like I said, there's also the crate that's half sunken into one of the piles.
Well, I guess as we're adventurers now, we should open it. Because that's
If I
what
stole
I'm interested.
somebody's sword, I guess that's where I would put it. I don't know. I've never stolen anything.
Why are you
It's
putting that
probably not really
suspicious
Suspicious
face?
face. I've never stolen anything.
She realizes like a weird thing to say, so she's
I
kind of
steal
does the
things.
like, oh, oh.
You didn't steal the sword, did you?
No. I steal people's hearts.
Or
She opens
catches
up
it.
the inside of her robe. She opens up the inside of her robe, and you can see there are several desiccated hearts that she has, like just dried up heart on the inside of her coat. And they look like they're kind of decorative.
See,
She flourishes.
Ow.
there's spell components.
Oh. That's
That's what I tell people.
Okay, we better.
Sorry, I
just
get
go.
nervous around new people.
That's understandable.
Who wants to open the chest?
Well, I already tripped over a rat trap, so I'd rather not walk through the room first where it might fall in.
Well, I'm gonna pull forward.
Okie dokie.
Okay,
Down
cool.
the stairs, you make it A-okay. Tom
he
will be
starts to-
talking like that tomorrow.
As he starts to walk away, I'll pat him on the shoulder. Same thing. Do your best and cast guidance.
Okie dokie. You feel a warmth on your shoulder as she does so.
Is this actually blocked in front of me? Do I have to go around?
No, that's fine. How much experience do you have with magic and having magic cast on you, by the way?
Probably not a massive amount. I've got a lot of experience in reading about magic. Like I've read every book about every magician ever. or
Okay.
magic user ever,
Uh-huh.
but never actually seen a spell or had
Okay.
it cast on me.
Okay. Well then, this is a very, very strange experience for you. Would you like to explain how your magic manifests itself neurally?
So if he's in front of me, he probably wouldn't see it, but there you might feel like a little like rustle of wind that kind of just like buffets about a little bit, and then this particular cantrip has like a subtle like silvery kind of golden glow and a bit of a warmth to it.
Oh, that's new. Never had that before.
It doesn't last long, but it's helpful.
Oh,
He's never experienced warmth before.
these robes are very cold.
The touch of a lady.
Oh, it's made me all tingly.
Okay, so how far into this room do you want to go?
I want to go until I can see more around this corner. So yeah.
Okie dokie. So you are now under the roof that is clearly being held up by wood. So I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Be very careful.
Are you being careful? Let's find out.
Oh dear.
Yes, you are being very careful. As you step through here, you feel there is a slight wobble to the tile below your feet, and as you wobble the tile, you can see that it is holding up part of the woodwork that is holding up the ceiling. So you see that, and immediately shift your weight away from that dangerous direction that it was heading in, and put your weight on a different tile instead. In so doing, making it safe for you to continue onwards. You see the rest of this room, it much continues as the same. There's a larger pile of bones underneath you to the south. That is where a huge portion of the wall has actually caved in. It looks like there's a small amount of cloth underneath the bones, like perhaps this was a bedroll.
I think someone might have been living here.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, there's like cloth and shit in there. All right, carry on towards the.
Okie dokie, give me one more dexterity saving throw as you make your way to the chest on the other side of the room.
I feel like I'm just gonna like walk to the end of the stairs to watch and just stand right here.
Can I do a little little 1d4 on that from guidance.
Yeah.
Or did it have to be the exact next one?
It can be
No, so
whenever.
if you want.
Ooh.
Okay, as you take a step onto this next, the tile immediately in front of this chest, which is very small, by the way. It's small enough to kind of you could probably carry it. It's like kind of the size and shape of a duffel bag sort of thing. You stand on a tile in a way that once again rustles with the woodwork that's keeping the roof stable. In so doing, a huge chunk of stonework comes falling out of the ceiling, crushing the crate that you saw that was previously wedged into one of the tiles on the ground, and also one directly behind you. You only managed to dodge it very, very closely. You feel like there was kind of almost a slight puff of the wind behind you. You kind of felt like there was a little guiding movement that kind of jolted you forward just out of the way of the rocks. And you find yourself now stood in front of this chest. just very, very aware. Still the main character, just the dead main character.
I have to resist the urge to go, looks like you made it.
Not yet, he's got to get out.
Well, I will probably poke the chest with a stick unless I've already picked it up. Just like,
You want to poke it?
yeah, I've read enough stories about trap chests to never immediately
Okie dokie.
open it.
Well, it goes thunk.
Okay, I open it.
It's locked.
So I open it. Well,
Get back.
yes, it's small enough for me to pick up, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I carefully lift it, making sure if it's like holding up a tile or something.
So it's a
Very
load
smart.
bearing.
Very smart.
It's a load bearing chest.
Fortunately, it is not a load-bearing chest. However, you do notice that it does have it's not holding a huge amount of the wall up, but it is wedged into the wall in a way that it looks like the foundation of this room has sunken somewhat, probably because of instability underneath it, and because of that, the wall has kind of collapsed slightly on top of it. It's easy enough to wedge out. And you managed to do so without upsetting the foundation of the wall, but mostly because you are aware that it might have been attached to the wall in some way. So you've made special precautions to ensure that you can take it out without trouble.
Like
so you
Jenga.
You managed to. Yes, exactly. You managed to Jenga it out. And now you're stood here with. It's not an especially heavy chest. You can hear something jingling around on the inside.
All right. I'm gonna make my way back with no
So-
problems.
I messed up because I forgot he was making a save, not like an acrobatics check. And guidance
Ah.
actually doesn't work for saves.
That's fine. That's fine.
It was an acrobatics check.
It's fine.
New character, sorry.
Yeah. That's right. It's okay. It's like
I'm used to inspiration
just-
where I'm like, you can do this whatever you want.
it's just a change. It's just the difference between life and death. But whatever. It's not like time used inspiration to change an entire game in the last season that we played. I'm just kidding. So now you have a room and some very unstable seating between you and your new comrades.
Yep.
Anyone from the sidelines shouting anything encouraging?
You got this, Randall. I get the A's wrong. She's like,
if
sounded
you
right.
retrace your steps, it'll probably be okay.
Try not to die.
Thanks.
No problem, sugar tits. Oh, whoa.
She hadn't said that in a couple of minutes. She was compelled to say it.
Yeah. No, I'll make my way back.
Okie dokie. Well, Uno, dexterity savio, please.
Ooh.
The rolls are back.
It's not a good sign.
Katie's only a little bit bitter as you manage to deftly move and use the momentum of the chest in your hand to get yourself across the room without triggering anything. As you do so, you land at the other side and you feel like almost the room is on a timer as it slowly starts to shift behind you. You land back with your new comrade as one of the load-bearing planks crumbles. It cracks in the middle. A huge portion of it slumps into the ground. You hear rumbles for a few seconds afterwards, but for the most part, everything is okay. The room falls in. Sounds a little bit fiery, but it's not. It's rocks.
And like sand, like in
Yep.
games like Minecraft, where the
Yeah.
sand will just kill you. It's that.
Yeah.
Drown in sand.
Sewer sand.
So back at the staircase you are, chest in hand.
Did you try
What
to
a
open it?
versatile sound.
Can anyone open this? I can't open it. See,
Oh,
it's locked.
I don't have a key for it.
Also, I could have died in there.
Well done for not dying.
You can-
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
glossing over that. Like, well done.
I definitely was
can't
standing back there doing like a
believe it.
wandering and stuff.
Cthulhu was with you.
Well, whatever it was.
Power to Cthulhu.
Yes.
Maybe he has a key for it.
Cthulhu.
Oh, I meant the innkeeper.
What about the dead guy over there?
Points to the orc.
Oh, maybe.
Seem to have anything on him?
He is under a boulder, so it's hard to tell.
Well, I'm not going back in that room, so
That's fair.
I can't move that boulder.
Kat YE brings a dagger out.
Mm.
She says,
We could jimmy it.
Do you know how to do that?
she takes the chest from you and she sits down on the floor and she gets her knife and she just slides it into the. You do something.
Pat her on the shoulder. Yeah, guidance. Good luck.
She sits there for a couple of minutes. Actually, it's not an easy thing for her to do, but she breaks the lock. In so doing, cracking part of the opening of the chest, like the top half of the chest, is making it unusable. So she brute forces it open. And she goes.
Well, that's kind of ironic.
She pulls out a small leather satchel that unfurls into a set of lockpicks.
Well,
You
What
can
are
see
those
that she. Can we get some perception rolls? Boulder strike again.
I see.
Okay,
everything.
Randall, you
Randall.
notice that she pockets a couple of items that were in the chest.
Hey, what was that?
Looks like thieves' tools.
Yeah, the other stuff.
Bits of broken chest. Do you want the lock?
No,
There's a souvenir.
what's the other stuff in your pockets now?
I'm
Calling you
sorry,
out.
you're trying to go through my belongings.
No, I saw
I
you.
have rights.
I saw you take things from that chest.
No, you didn't.
what'd you take?
I didn't take anything.
Why'd you do it? We're an adventuring party.
I didn't do anything.
We're a team. Why did you take something?
Why are you siding with him?
Well, he's
'Cause
got.
I'm
Is it
Randall.
because of my voice?
It's because I'm
No.
Randall.
No, you're covered in
He's Randall.
that looks pretty infernal to me, so it seems reasonable that if someone were lying, it probably would be you.
Wow, judging a book by its cover much.
Well, then just show us what was in there.
She opens up the chest and she shows it to you. It's now empty and broken.
Nothing.
Can I go ahead and like call on my one of my traits for my background, that my innocent nature makes people feel endeared or take pity on me and offer help more willingly. Can I like
Not
big
in this
eyes?
case.
No, okay. I thought maybe I'd give it a shot. Okay.
See a sword.
Listen, let's do our job, okay? We're here for a reason.
But if we're looking for a sword and that's what you took, then we're not going to finish the job.
I haven't seen a sword. I want to get paid, just like the rest of you.
Well, it looks like you already got your payday, doesn't it?
We could just tell the people that you pocketed something and so you're not giving the 10% you owe. I'm sure they'll be powerful enough to figure out whatever it was you took.
All right, listen. I took 3 copper pieces, okay? 3 copper pieces. This is what you've done. Over 3 copper pieces.
You took the 3 copper pieces.
The
So
3
you're
copper
saying we were
pieces
right all
that I
along.
needed to eat. I'm poor, okay? It takes a
Can I
lot.
insight check?
Yes, you can.
Finally.
Yeah, I mean, it all seems a little bit fishy to you. I think that's pretty clear to you. You find it very hard to believe anything that comes out of her mouth.
Listen, sacrifices to Cthulhu are very difficult and very expensive, okay?
Do I believe that it was just the 3 copper pieces, though?
No.
I can tell you're lying to us. You're not very
Well,
good at it.
Well, I was lying. But then I showed you the coins, remember?
But what else was there? Look, we're all in this together, and those rats scraped you up pretty badly. And if we see something worse down here, then you're going to have to be able to count on each other.
Fine.
And she brings out a amulet. This amulet is mostly made of stone. On the front of the amulet is a crest. It is the crest that you saw on the letter and on the front of your house.
It just looked cool, okay? I wanted a souvenir to remember the first adventuring trip with you guys.
Do I still have the letter?
Yes.
I'm going to produce my letter, but not open it, which has the seal on it. I go, I believe that's mine. This, that, same, that, mine.
This is the first time that you guys have seen this letter or heard anything about his claiming rights to things.
Yep.
Additionally, he has just said, that's mine.
I'd like to see it.
We're just talking about people taking ownership of class. Like, it's party
Fine.
loot, shared
Fine.
loot, and he's just been like, mine. How do you guys react to this new endeavor?
What's that?
This
Yeah.
This is my letter. This is why I'm here.
Uh,
But look at this seal. Look,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
okay, that and that, they're the same.
Yeah.
So
Can
I'd
I
like
read
to
that?
see it. No.
Well, now you're acting suspicious.
But I have a letter that has the thing on too. Why is your letter better than my letter?
Wait, which letter?
The quest. Well, it was the quest thing. So everyone's letter. Why is it?
My letter's got the seal.
But
The seal matches the seal.
what does
I want some time with the amulet at some point.
some time with the amulet?
Just me and the amulet.
No questions.
Did you hold it up enough where I could read the letter at all, or were you just kind of waving it around?
You're in a very dimly lit area, like even with
Yes.
dark
I have
vision,
dark vision.
even with dark
Oh.
vision, reading fine print, whilst he's not holding it up perfectly still, it's not easy.
Yeah,
to
that's
just-
what I was asking. If
Yeah,
he was like, "Here, look at
It's
it,"
like-
and
Yeah,
Yeah.
rolled up and because the seal holds it.
gotcha. All right. I'm very disappointed in both of you, but let's figure out what else is going on down here.
Welcome to the real world, princess.
She skips up the stairs. All in this together.
Is that what she's singing as she skips away?
Yeah.
Holding this together. Skips away.
We're
Still with
all
the
in
three.
this together.
Still with the copper and the.
Yeah. Alright, let's go back.
So there
She-
weren't
she's
any
passed
other-
she's passed the amulet to Randall in her hopes that that has now passed suspicion onto him instead of her.
Wait, then I want to have a look at it.
Yeah. Okay, so this, like I said, is a large stone amulet. You can see what's an amulet because on the front of it, it hangs kind of awkwardly. It has so it's like a big stone disc. But whereas with most amulets and talismans, you would expect any kind of hook that would hold up a chain, for example, to be on the top. This is not on the top; it's on the front at the top. So the amulet, rather than laying flat against you, lays at a slight angle because it's being held up by the chain here rather than the chain at the top. See what I mean? It's quite hard to explain.
No, it makes sense.
It looks like the stone. There are several grooves along the outside that are asymmetrical around it. They don't seem to have any particular pattern, but they do look purposeful. The front does have the sigil of Kinshire, the house crest, and that's pretty much all that you can see.
Do you think it belonged to him? And I point at the person under the boulder.
The one under the boulder is an orc, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I suppose you could do. But maybe there was someone else under the other rubble around the corner.
Oh, maybe.
I'll have my butler look at it.
What?
Let's adventure on and find the source of rats.
I guess the only way left to go is across the water.
The poop chute.
Yes, the water. The poop chute.
Maybe don't call it that, Docs. Maybe not.
Maybe it's the log flume.
Stop. Oh my god.
As we enter this room, by the way, I've definitely got like my the bottom of my like robes and gosh, why do I keep forgetting what that's called? A cloak in the hand with like the wand that's now out because of the rats, and I'm holding it up off the floor.
Okay. So, like I said before, down here is a big old channel of poop chute water. And if you were to stand a little bit closer down, you'd probably get a better look at it. You'd see that it's difficult to see just how deep it is, but you can see various debris floating in it. It looks thick. Does someone want to give me a perception check?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Contributing.
Oro, you notice that the water is stationary.
Right.
In that it is not flowing anywhere.
Okay. Guys, this water isn't going anywhere. It's not like draining out. It's just there.
Yeah, seems odd for a sewer.
Yeah, it's not how sewers work.
Supposed to drain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise it would just fill up, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Fill up.
maybe it's just blocked. Maybe there's a grate that's covered up with dead rats or something.
This is just a blockage of dead rats.
Level 1 adventure? Who knows?
Could I tell how deep it is, Tor?
Not from where you are. If you, I mean, you could splash your foot up in there. The fatberg.
Could use a quarterstaff.
You can use your quarterstaff. You want to stick it into the deuce. See how deep it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Means it's going to do poison damage the next time he attacks him.
Diseased.
Yeah, a small amount of chance for a disease.
You've got eco.
Is about 2 foot deep. However, the stairs themselves go down maybe 3 foot. They're quite steep. So by the time you get to the water, from the top of the stairs to the bottom of the water, it's about 5 foot.
gap. Are the walls like vertical or are they stepped?
They are. They are. They are. It's a gradient, but it's quite a steep gradient. It's not stepped. You could not step on those.
And
Damn.
is that a wall on the other side, or are those more steps?
That's a wall, no steps.
Okay. God, it's 2 feet deep.
Oh, it's like half of my body.
This is so gross.
Is there no other way we can go? Can we not go this?
That didn't lead to anything.
Did it not?
Just a board hanging up.
that-
Is there anything written on that board if I go over to it?
Nope. It's just it's a plank of wood. It's not so much a board. It's a plank of wood.
Is there anything on the
It's-
back of it? Is it just like it's like free hanging? Can I look at the back?
Well, it's loose. You can look at it. It just looks like a piece of wood.
How big is it again?
It's about 2 foot by 4 foot.
So big enough to be like a raft?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a dagger and cut the rope. Or
Okay.
untie it if I can just do that.
Yeah, like I said, it's free hanging essentially. It's just there as like looks like it was being used for something, and it's easily accessible. You can leverage it off and hold it in one place.
And take it and kind of bring it like half drag it back over because it's kind of big. Well, I don't know. I'm tall enough to kind of hold it up. Just like maybe we can not have to walk in it. Wood floats.
It's better than nothing.
All right. I mean, 4 feet's not very big. I'm like trying to. Maybe one person or 2 people could go.
Was there anything else that we could get for that? Any other pieces of wood?
That was the only piece of wood, but like I said, there were also there were 2 hammers, a box of nails. Oh.
There were other destroyed bits of crate. Were there any like sides of crate that were big enough that like if we took some time to nail it together, we could make like a big enough one that everyone could stand on?
You could roll me an investigation check to see if you can find enough wood to put it into raft form.
I'm gonna ask someone to help me, so I can roll with advantage if someone would like to help me.
What was it?
Nope.
You mean in character? What's that?
Yeah. There were some pieces of wood in the other room, so maybe we could go look and find something to put something together, so we don't have to actually walk in it. I know that's a bit ambiguous. I can go by myself if you don't want to help.
John, fuck off!
Oh, I couldn't see what he was doing.
Disappeared.
Everybody just stands there looking at her, so she's just gonna like walk away by herself.
No, I'll help. I'll help.
Okay.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
Oh, it was a
Okey-dokey.
12 if we're both rolling then. Just a 12 for me, because of
Okay.
course it is.
12 and a 16. Okay, so you successfully find enough pieces of wood that you think along with the mending cantrip and some hammer and nails, you think you could probably extend your raft by another 4 foot by the length. So it'd be closer to 8 foot by 2 foot.
That works.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll take some time and start working on that and blah blah.
Okay. Well, doesn't take you very long. Again, with your magic and with the tools that you have, to hammer something together, and now you have a 2x8 wooden board, which you think might be able to hold you.
All of us, or just one person?
I mean, 2 of you are halflings. Oh, sorry, one's a gobbo, one's a halfling.
Is it gobbo?
Halfling sized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be somewhere in the middle because I'm apparently I'm the tall one with everyone.
I'll have the
I'll
2
be third
shorties
of
at the
the
end.
fourth.
Yeah. Okay.
Okie dokie. So do you want to tell me what order you're going in? Who's at the front?
I can go in the front.
Okay.
I've got a stick, so I should be at the back. So I can, like,
That makes
push.
sense. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go second to equally distribute the weight downward pressure.
Okie dokie. So getting on to the makeshift raft, you find yourself now
We sync immediately.
No, it
We're
is.
coming.
It really
I'm
is a
there.
log flume now.
Oh.
It really is a log
Oh.
flume now. I'm trying to put you in the right order, but I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fuck hell. Okay, right, here we go. You're all on your raft. As you look backwards to the west and east in front of you, you see that it's harder to see in this kind of canal of bodily fluid. There is a palpable gas that is lingering in the air, perhaps because this water is stagnant. But in any case, the canal of shit. But it's almost like there's a fog in the air. It's not easy to just see with your usual vision.
Eyes. No.
My
And
usual.
it's difficult. In fact, you can probably only see 30 foot in here instead of your normal 60. Boop. So let's change all your visions. Remind me to change. Actually, yeah, we have to change them anyway next time you use it. But remind me. So you're going to see about 30 foot. Poop fog is the hardest of the fog to see through. As you might imagine, absolutely stinks in here. It is horrendous, and it's palpable. It's like you can taste it in the back of your mouth.
Under my breath, I just mutter like, "Cities are terrible."
True.
Funky.
Push us.
So you're now on your board, and everyone kind of just looks behind, and looks at Randall.
Let's push us through.
You start pushing yourself. Okay, so you find nice bass, Jenny. Play us a song.
Finally.
You find that it is very difficult to push yourself through this water. I mean, it's not like you're going against a current because the water's not flowing, but you are pushing yourself along what is essentially an elongated vat of shit. So you're not going with a lot of momentum. It's not a lot of velocity here. And that's what I'm here for with the bass. But you find yourself rounding the corner. Let's see if I can do this the other way.
Ooh, that was fancy.
Oh, so fancy! Oh my god! So you find yourself you're moving up this canal. You find it quite difficult to make any distance, but after a few minutes, you have successfully rounded the corner. It's better than wading through shit. You all agree, and you find yourself that there is a one point here where the tunnel widens out to a small step. There is nothing discernible about this apart from the fact that there is one torch that is again in a handle against the wall. Do you continue onwards?
You said it's a step, like that we could get out on.
Yeah, it doesn't lead anywhere. It's just
okay.
a widened passage. And again, to the east of you here, there is a small kind of drain that doesn't seem to be draining anywhere. It seems to be quite clogged. But the water's not, well, the fluid isn't going anywhere through this drain.
Oh, can we see what it's clogged with?
No, if it's clogged, it's not clogged directly here. It's probably further down the passage.
Oh, I see. Okay. I say continue on.
Okie dokie.
I will do
Well,
that.
as you get to...
It's like Venice, but terrible.
You get to about here. Kind of need a poo, but the stream might hear a hefty plop, so I'll hold it in. Thanks you for contributing, Don.
To the sewer that we're
This is going on YouTube, and I've read it out. Can anyone roll me a perception check, please? Or by that I mean everyone, roll me a perception check, please.
Okay, I was like, I'm gonna
That's
try.
insane.
Oh my god, Casey.
I give up.
No.
Okay.
Great rolls.
Oro, you hear an intimidating noise.
Okay.
The fluid underneath you shifts slightly.
Oh no.
It's going to be a poo monster.
As,
It's a Golgothan.
as the poo starts to shift, you see at the end of the corridor that there was something blocking the way. A huge wall of jelly. Just absolute gelatinous,
Oh, it is a
thick,
fatberg.
thick waste was in the way that has somehow moved itself, and in so doing, a tide has picked up. All of you now need to make a dexterity saving throw. It's a massive wave of just this colossal wave of sewer and sewage liquid comes pouring down this canal and pushes you. And especially, you know what's even better? You know what's even better is that you don't have your legs in the touching the ground, so you've got nothing to wedge yourself against. You know, you can't wall to hold on to. You are on a raft.
Yeah, we surf it. We surf
So
it out.
yeah, we
You're
can surf
surfing.
it.
Okay, this is a lot of really good dexterity saving throws, which is fantastic, because this means you've successfully managed to hold onto the raft all the way down to here. At this point, the water has picked up to a very vast extent. It is very, very quick now. We're going to make one more dexterity saving throw as your raft hits the wall.
Ooh.
Damn it.
Oh, no.
You've got your 1d6, Katie, still, right?
I do have the D6 left.
Yep, you should use it because the game's
Shit,
gonna end
yeah,
very
the
soon.
time's
Yeah. Oh, that's true. It is gonna end. Right. Okay, I'm gonna use it. 1 second. 4.
Oh,
This is
nice.
11.
Okay,
Can
successfully.
I give Docs mine?
Thank you, fool.
If this is the last roll.
Okay, dexterity onto Docs. Then Docs gets the d6. Oh my god. You guys are
messy.
slammed against the wall, and all of you successfully managed to hold in place, apart from
Oh.
Kawaii, who is thrown off of the raft. You guys are then cast down following the raft in this direction. You go flying against this wall here, where you are. You find that the raft itself has wedged itself between this wall and this wall. Unfortunately, Kawaii is not on this raft and is taken with the tide and cast aside. You see at the fringe of your vision that she is now in a wall of jelly and slowly being sucked into it. She shouts,
Ah, Cthulhu, save me!
as she is sucked into it. A gelatinous cube that is successfully covering the entirety of this sewer wall to wall. And you can hear a fizzle as she starts to be consumed. We're going to end this session.
Oh,
You know how I love
What a
my
shitty
cliffhangers.
yeah.
As you know, we all I love cliffhangers. So you are ending this session. Randall, Oro, and Nurali are all holding on for dear life onto the edge of this raft, this jury-rigged raft, which is currently fighting against the tide of shit that is still pouring down this canal, pushing everything up against this gelatinous cube at the end of the hallway. Clearly, I've missed a good one if Thomas been doing that. Yeah, it's really. Which won't have to happen if this poor character gets consumed by a gelatinous cube, which definitely won't happen when everyone's level 1. Okay, anyway, today.
Mission to bring this character back to life.
Thank God, for raise the dead is not an easy to cast. It's a very cheap spell. At the end of that session, we're trying to make sure that our sessions will be ending slightly earlier. So it should be going from 7 to 10 British time. However, next week, I think daylight savings ends.
so
Is it end of the Sunday? Or is it on the Saturday?
It'll probably be on Saturday. It doesn't normally
Sunday,
change.
27th.
It's actually on Sunday.
daylight saving times ends. So is that an hour ahead?
It makes no difference to that game, surely, because it'll be the one after. Then it depends.
It
It
says
ends
daylight
Sunday
saving.
morning.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It says on Google Calendar daylight saving time ends.
It'll probably
Usually
be-
it ends the day of in the morning. So when you
Yeah, it'll
fall
be like
back, you get
9 a.m.
another hour of sleep that Sunday. So it will be an hour earlier for you guys, but not for anyone in the US.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
because you don't change till like post Halloween.
Yeah,
Well-
this happens where in 2 weeks I'll have to start like remembering what the real time is again. So
You always set the time towards summer. You fall back an hour, so we gain an hour now. This is too much for me. Congratulations, you've baffled my brain.
Yeah, it ends at
you
2
spring
a.m. on
forward
Sunday.
and you fall back. You
Oh,
jump forward and you fall
I
back.
like that. In any case, does that mean that we're gonna have what's it
It means our
Is that-
game will be an hour earlier if you're not
for the
on
Americans?
BST.
And in
It's
2
no,
weeks'
it's same
time-
time for us. It'll
Oh, is
be
it?
6 to 9 for you, and still 1 to 4 Central for us next week. And then 2 weeks later, we'll fall back, and it'll be noon to 3. Wait, no, it'll still
No.
be 1. It'll just be an hour earlier. You don't have to actually change the time. It's still 7 to 10,
Yeah.
but it'll
Okay.
be during the. Yeah, nothing changes.
Okay.
You have to change your clock.
Okay.
Oh my god, you
Uh,
confused me. I was like, dang. What happens when they change is that like, wait, no, we will
No.
have to. Oh
Yeah,
my
when,
god.
when we change, we still play at 7 till 10.
Yeah, 7 to
That
10
will-
hour time will be a different time for you.
Yeah, it'll be an hour earlier because it'll actually be equivalent to 6 to 9.
Do you see why there was that 2-week period last year when I was like, what time is it there right now? I was doing it backwards.
Okay. In any case,
So you'll be 5 hours ahead of me then. So it'll be 2 o'clock Central Time to 5 o'clock Central Time until we fall back. That's what's gonna happen.
Simple.
and then the week after that, I'll be in Texas.
Yay!
If you want to play the week after next when I'm in Texas, I'm still up for that. Unless we have plans or whatever.
Are you gonna
Because
well, we're
it'll
not gonna
be-
play on the 3rd for sure. Because we're gonna go to Ren Fair.
oh, okay, that's the third. Yeah,
probably?
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we'll keep everyone updated.
Yeah, we'll to be better or something.
Well, we'll make it clear for everybody.
Time is a social construct, and daylight
Right.
savings time is stupid.
True.
We have electric lights. Why do we do daylight savings time?
Right,
Anyway.
everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the introduction to our new campaign. I hope you're looking forward to seeing how these characters evolve because I certainly am. We've got some fun ones, and I've just missed playing with you guys. And I've missed hanging out with you guys in chat as well. Our Sundays have always been more fun in the company of friends. So let's appreciate our new world in Nesmith, in Cormier, with Atticus and Parsnip, and
I can't wait to meet Parsnip.
and you know this new adventure. Learning a bit more about Caspian, your ancestor, and the area in which he was a stalwart defender. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
Do we want to raid or anything?
We can do.
Yeah. A whole new world. Blah 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 blah.
I was gonna say a gassy tunnel full of shit.
do 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 do.
Literally.
Yeah.
Use the events features on Twitch. Wait, is that a thing that what? Okay. In any case,
I have no idea.
yeah, we'll be. This is our new campaign. We'll be back. We're back. We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We're back with our
brand new track.
brand new campaign of us faffing around for a lot of it.
Faff bunch.
But
The nerds are back in town. Thank you,
we're
Adam, for
back
that.
in town.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
there we go. I was here for Katie singing. Now you can be done if you want. Thank you, Commander Pulsar.
I don't know who to rate.
Best is back with a brand new crap. Anyone to raid, or are we out of raid options?
Heartboard Games is on. Well, actually, let me check and make sure that Twitch is aligned to me. Bob Ross is on.
Bob Ross.
Yeah, they're still live. If you guys want to hang out, and watch board games.
Board games.
My friend Servo is on playing Destiny 2.
Well, it's down to Jenny. Jenny, make the call.
Yeah, what you want?
Jenny's stream.
No, bruh. I don't know.
Back on our shit again.
Dawn Pixie's on. Yeah, she's on my following list.
Oh, did she raid us before? Or is that just someone that time
Maybe.
has
I think so.
has suggested multiple times and we've rated her?
Legends
Doesn't
of
matter really.
Adventurous is also on, and I can't remember if I followed them because they rated us. They're doing the Amber Temple, funny enough.
Are they?
Who's that?
But we can do Torn Pixie.
We can go in there with some knowledge about what might be in there.
Legends. Here, I'll type it in the thing. Legends.
Oh, stretch my legs.
Adventurous. You stick your leggy out real far.
Yeah, stick my leggy out.
Wait, where did you type that? Where did you put that?
No, it's in Roll20. Evantress.
Oh.
Legends of Evantress. I feel like they rated us before because I don't know who they are other than that.
Okay. Was it? Right. Thanks for chilling with us for our first episode of our new campaign, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week at a different time, but check the thing under the thing and you'll get
Same
it.
place. We'll keep you updated.
I'm just gonna message you guys a million times that morning.
Thanks, daylight saving
What
time.
Where would... Okay. Bye.
Bye.